any discussion, it means that you didn't know that the Sumerians were aware that we were Hebrews, and they referenced us as people.
I know where the Habiru come from. The Habiru come from the caves of Europe. I already went over that with Shaka. So I'm not contesting you on it, that it's there, but we did a whole 3-hour lecture on the Habiru being white people. So
you didn't do it with me. You don't got no belt here. You didn't do that with me.
So the Habiru was not white people, Brother Zion?
Not at all, brother.
And they had a Semitic language. Originally from themselves.
Agreed that when the Sumerians spoke of themselves, they spoke of themselves as being a people of color. And also they said that the Habiru were just like them.
Can you give us a text on that? Because now you're saying the second thing.
That's in the same text, brother.
What's the name of it?
Brother, I don't know the name of the book because I'm not home right now.
Okay. When you get home, don't get a ticket speaking too fast. When you get home, holler back at us. Be online.
All right, please, Brother Zion.
No problem, brother. Take care. And put me on that couch with that brother.
Yo, Zion, man,
Dang.
Right. So
Zion going in.
Yeah, he goes in, but he don't bring no sources.
And he's scared of Shaka.
Wow, you gonna put that on record?
Well, he's scared of Shaka. Shaka called him out many times, face to face. He ain't want no part of Shaka.
Wow.
He ain't want it.
Now this is what we can do. I know you did say we have time factor. I want to hand it.
All right, yeah, y'all sit down there. Y'all have to sit
down. The mic, and then we can sum up and then
sit down.
Listen, let me say something. This is just the scratch. This is the scratch on the surface.
Right. This is powerful right here.
I think this is what I think can happen, and this is just a proposal. And I actually offered this, but because of my time factors, I wasn't able to do it. And I wanted to do it. Probably would have made it a little bit more. We would have been addressed a little bit more. When we come, if we ever come again and do this, I think we should do it. Maybe in part 2. And I'm offering to do this myself. I think it would be good. I can cite a list of all my sources and documents from the beginning, so that when we go over in the first synopsis, because there were some things that we didn't cover, because we kind of we're jabbing around and going around, that the critical points are highlighted, which I think we did a good job as far as communicating, because he said he communicated a lot of things, and I communicated a lot of things we didn't get a chance to show pictorially and linguistically, because we just don't have time. But I think that'll help, just as an outline. And I had offered to do it for my brother. I do apologize because I was in another place and didn't get a chance to do that. It will help with what we are doing as far as concretizing certain points. And that'll help us out in the future.
I'll tell you what, I have one better. Would you consider Shaka Utmost on working with you, Brother DivineProspect in Zion Lex, and getting in the ring with them brothers?
That wouldn't make any sense.
Why wouldn't it?
Because Shaka don't even agree with the stuff that he's teaching.
No, as far as what Ali talking about, as far as the Hebrews, I bet you Shaka agree. No. All right, check it. Hold on. All right. No, hold up. I'm gonna get it right. What about you and Dr. Ali Muhammad getting the ring, and then I can have Shaka Utmost in Zion Lex? Because I told you Zion Lex, he running from Shaka. He keeps saying Shaka ain't ready, but Shaka is calling him out.
Who's Zion Lex?
He was on the team with
he was on the Hebrew team. You seen the debate, right?
I saw parts of it.
He wasn't actually on the debate.
He had books and
Hey,
everything.
but I'll show you that.
He has a book. And I think
mad disrespectful.
No, he got one book. No, you said he has books.
Yeah, he has something that he's writing right now.
No, listen what I'm saying.
You said he has books. Is it 10 on the Zion Lex?
What I'm saying is, how many books do we got? How many books do we got so far?
Well, one is.
That's what I mean. That's why I said he got one book so far.
Right, it didn't mean a lot.
No, I know.
I just said, sometimes I gotta make sure.
Hell no. No, but what I'm saying though, brother, is that Zion Lex keep calling out Polite, but he has proven to make 3 errors on Polite live in front of everybody, and he ain't come out to apologize for that yet. So, brother Zion Lex, I'm calling you out, man, to sit in there with Brother Shaka Utmost. If you could go in there and handle Shaka, you have to bring out Polite. You see what I'm saying? Meanwhile, would you consider Brother DivineProspect doing this for the people, live for the people?
Yeah, I think that.
And y'all come up with your own topics. Because you can see it's respectful already.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to absolutely be
See what I'm
respectful.
saying?
I don't know. I mean, I think we can put our heads together and come up with something functional, really functional. On this subject. First, it could be like a paper. We just published a short paper on it with the sources, and then come from the paper itself, which would be more organized, and then have some questions. You know what I mean? We could do something like this again, or I don't know how we want to, whatever way we function. Because I think that there's some premises that need to be made more clear. And my premise, I want to make it more clear because he highlighted the fact that these texts exist. I'm not denying that some of them existed. I'm just denying that the collection. My point is the collection of these texts at a later date did not occur.
Hold up. I know I'm a chess player. I know he was listening. Go ahead, Brother Zion, you on?
Oh.
I'm on live?
Yeah,
you on live.
Go ahead.
I need to know, am I on live?
Yes, sir. You on live.
Okay, first and foremost, brother, Dr. Ali Muhammad, you're gonna go check out the works of Berosus the Chaldean. It's known as the works of Berosus the Chaldean. That's the reference point for the Hebrews being Hapiru. It's in the book, or the works of Berosus the Chaldean. That's where you'll find it. That's number one. Number two, let's take this for the record. I will battle Shako any day.
Yes. Yo, Zion's warrior, son.
Right. I knew you had to come out and say that.
He'll go in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Hey, Brother Zion, if you're in town on Saturday, it's going to be me, Brother Polite.
A bad day.
Oh, right. That's true. That's right.
Isn't the event on Sunday?
No, it's on. No, I'm talking about Saturday when we go march down on high school.
But he can come to the event and you can shoot footage of shot. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's do it.
Well, if you could come through on Sunday, because we're doing something for Dr. Ben, you know, I could catch you on the outside, you know, with y'all.
Okay, and I also want to say this. Is Ali Muhammad going to be here? Because I would love to address him as well.
Where Ali might be doing something else Sunday. This Sunday coming up, National Black Day.
I'll be in
Chicago. No, me and Chicago will be debating this Sunday.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, can we set up something where myself, like you said, with myself and Divine, set up against Shaka and Ali?
All right, hold up, Zion. In order for you to get the top scholars, brother, you're gonna have to go through somebody. They want to see if you can go through somebody in order to get to the top scholar. If you can get through, you're gonna have to go through Shaka Upmost.
All right, let's do it.
And that right there is gonna be a heavy blow for you.
Okay, let's do it, brother. All
right, I'm gonna talk to Shaka.
I'll put that work in.
All right, brother. Please.
So me and Nasi called Shaka yesterday to tell him that Zion Lex is ready for the challenge, and he said no.
Oh. Whoa.
When I finish talking with him, let's put the right information out there. I told you previously in the past that I wasn't interested in debating him because I didn't see him as my equal. Right. But now seeing myself, we talked it over, and I came back and I said to Nancy yesterday, you know what? I'll take that debate. Nancy called Shaka's phone, and Shaka said, no, I don't want no parts of Zion Lex. You know why?
I like that too.
You know why, Zion?
That might be a little.
Because you didn't call me first. If you would have called me,
you would put the battery in his back?
I would have called Shaka and we would have made that happen. And watch.
Okay.
You're going to be getting a call from me real soon.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Zion Lex don't run from nobody. Let's make that happen.
All right, my brother. I got you, man. It's going to be powerful right here.
And I want Ali Muhammad to be involved in that too.
Figure it out.
I'm actually take on Vulture in my day.
Oh!
I don't want to team with Ali.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. I guess I'll have separate debates with them now. If I'm calling you.
So what you gonna do? Call me back? What's going on?
I'm gonna call you back, but check this out. If we do it, right? What if we do it for free for the people? Are y'all willing to do it for free for the people?
I don't have a problem with that.
Listen, I said I want to do it, so however it can be done, let's make it happen.
You're not running from nobody.
Oh, man. We're going to get back to you on that. I'll be giving you a call probably tomorrow or this evening.
All right, I'm just calling back to make sure that the right information is in the air. That's all.
All right, come up with a nice topic, brother. Let's see what we're going to discuss.
You already know my topic. I told Shaka Almost number one that no biblical scholars can talk about plagiarism until they deal with the fact that the entire system of Egypt is a carbon copy of the Sumerian system.
What do you think about the Amara squad? I got them on the line right now.
I don't think there's nothing really to think about them. Them brothers, to me, in my personal opinion, is not really true to what it is that they're doing.
I got them on the line. I got them on the line right now.
The Israelite movement and everybody else we see out here. We
This is turning.
we're
Of
not
course,
doing
it's
this
turning right now.
I know. Because I'm getting wrong.
The whole really.
We try to teach on YouTube. All of us belong to schools and we are real teachers with 20+ years in these schools.
Yo, you hear that,
Man, that's a bunch of bullshit.
You know, no, right now.
Listen, I don't want to disrespect the elder, but the elder damn sure ain't gonna disrespect me. So I mean,
yeah, you gonna say something.
listen,
all right, yo, that's it. We out, man. Both of y'all, we out. Yo, we gonna keep this in respect.
bullshit talking walking on there with me. So you
Yo, shut that out, man.
All right, yo, hold on, man. Both of y'all shit. We gonna keep this shit scholarly.
Yeah.
Come on.
You don't want that.
I'm good. Yeah.
Want some orange?
Oh, what's that? Mangoes over there?
Yeah, I got mangoes, I got pineapples, and
Send them ready for
all
raw mangoes,
organic
man.
papaya.
Send them ready for raw mangoes, man.
Just eat one slice. I got 2 more left.
And you an elder. And you an elder. And you an elder. And you an elder. You an elder, right?
Why not?
You an elder, right?
All right, yo, check it out.
Tell me why not.
Get out of here, man.
All right, yo, see, this is why we can't get a debate going when we get like
Nah,
that.
they're not sugar on them.
We can't get like that, brother.
When I asked the lady, I said,
Oh, yeah, bro.
yeah. I asked her, I was asking, I said, yo, is this a sugar mixture that goes for sugar mixture?
Yeah, she know what she's talking about. She's trying to sell you.
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
They got color in it. Yeah, that thing on mango. Like a gummy bear look like, bitch. That's not ready for raw fruit.
Nah, man.
I don't think it's only approved that.
Yeah, right? This is I didn't have to bring a whole bunch of.
I'm good.
All right, hey, yo, Zion, I'm gonna talk to you, my brother.
I think you should let Ali wrap up, and then I'm gonna add some information, and then we can go.
You don't worry, man. We'll get you on these health regimens. We're gonna raise everything, man. The scholarship, the health, the economics, the law. We get it all right.
Yeah, they're going hard. You still on, right?
Yeah, we're going. I don't know what side they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, damn, man. We're gonna keep it scholarly, man. A lot of people, they can't handle the debate circuit. And my brother Zion, you hear me. I know you hear me. When you're dealing with the debate circuit, you have to keep your emotions in check. You know, because sometimes when you're dealing with us, we come out like that. You see what I'm saying? We ain't coming out where we want to fight. We come out aggressive. You have to be able to understand that, Zion. You know, Unc ain't trying to hurt you, brother. Unc ain't trying to swing on you or nothing like that. We just get aggressive with it. You know, that's all I'm saying, my brother Zion. So with that, let me ask you this question before y'all leave, brother.
No, he's gonna close. He has to go.
Okay. All right, brother Divine. You said that you can find the bodies of the prophets.
I never said that.
What did you say? You said you know where the bodies
No,
at.
I never said that.
Well, go in on that then.
I never said
Because
that.
everybody said, where the body of Jesus? Where Moses? Where Abraham?
I never said that I found any bodies.
Okay.
And when I did my presentation, I never said there was any bodies. What I was explaining was I was finding the grave sites or the tombs that has been purported to be where these people were buried. And I also explained the addition of the Canaanites, which the Hebrew Israelites were considered part of, where after a year's time, they would go back in and collect the bones from the gravesite, put it in an ossuary, and the family would keep it with themselves. So that is what I explained. I didn't say there was no mummified preserved bodies. I didn't say that.
Okay.
You know, that region of the Levant area is not hot enough like the desert sand for it to have a perfectly preserved mummy. You understand what I'm saying? So I never said that.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to make sure I made that clear.
All right, you cleared it
All right,
up.
I'm gonna let
Hey, brother Ali.
I know he wants to
Yes, definitely. It's been a good day. You know what I mean? We touched on a lot of things. I think that the premise that I brought out, that the Quran as a text that did not get to go to the papyrus collections to show you the actual dates on it, but they're there. One of the places you can go to is to the works of Adolph Groman, who was the first to collect papyruses and calculated there were about 16,000 papyri from the Umayyad period. And those first Qurans that were written on anything besides the epigraphy, we have over 85% of the Quran preserved in papyrus. So we know that it existed at that time in the Umayyad administration. And then we have the sources on that. So when we do a part 2, I'll focus on that at the beginning. The second thing is my definition of Bible must be put in the proper context, because my definition of Bible is the collection of books from the Israelite tradition that has been corrupted at various points and periods of time that now become a compilation that is being presented to people at this point as now the Torah, the Tanakh, the New Testament and other things, and that those versions that we currently have from the Greek, the Latin, and even the Hebrew are corrupted versions of older texts. Three of which I did not get a chance to mention, called the infancy, or the word that they use in English is infancy gospels. And it would help put some stuff into context. The second thing is comparing those two. The purpose for compilation of Quran was because of the corruption of the scriptures of this lineage of people, and they saw it fit to come back and get their oral traditions back in order at a time. And what you saw when they did that is a renaissance amongst these Afro-Asiatic people, for lack of a better term. And that renaissance, of course, spread across the world, spread across North Africa. The Umayyads have the largest empire in world history besides the British Empire, even larger than any empire that Kemet had, and these were black Muslims. We have to keep that in context that they brought all these things back. And then lastly, is it any good for our people? When we look at the disorganization of the black family, its dependency on the pseudo-monogamous plantation family lifestyle orchestrated by Europeans, then we can look at the remedy-based prescriptions that our ancestors in West Africa had to solve many of the maladies that we have now, including the proper rites of passage for women, which is given as a prescription in the Quran, and for men, so that we can help people transform. And I only cite the best example that I can use in the 20th century, and regardless of the controversy surrounding this man, the proven methods are there, and that citing is from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He took the core principles of the Quran from its original context, which was prescribed by black people, and used it as a medicine on black people, and showed that he could raise them up to a level of civilization that they had not been in, out of the fear and the other things. So I think that that last point, whether it be from prescriptions from the text of the Bible or the Quran, as a medicine for our things that we're going through, the principles are there to raise our people up economically, socially, morally, and all these other dimensions. So if we can't use history in a present context to transform our people, it means nothing. And what I do see is a moral decay where we're leaning so hard on scholarship in some fashion and neglecting the moral medicine that is needed from these ancient traditions. I think that that's where the scholastic community is becoming more like white people, where it's just about scholarship and not, balancing the scales. So this is why I love this brother, because he's dealing in his own society with both of those, a moral threshold and fine-tuning the scholastic point so that we don't look like a bunch of spooky cult followers. And that's the thing that we wanted to present today. I think we did a good job.
And I'm gonna say this before Ali goes, and then I want to give a quick presentation on some material about 15 minutes before I leave. So I know he has to. What I'm gonna say is that I think he summed it up. You know what I'm saying? And that is my objective. My objective is to go prior to the invasion of the Hebrew Israelite communities in the Levant region and discovering what was the pristine culture, what was the values of the people, what was the lifestyle of the people, what was their history, and what was the language that they spoke before they were uprooted, before invasion, and before the substance was stolen from them and the counterfeit was given back. And this is why we have to go back and fine-tune history and screen it through a black mind so we can filter out all the white supremacy subliminals that are in it that is designed to keep us oppressed and suppressed. The purpose of us doing this, going back and forth scholastically, is so people can see that my brother right here, I respect his scholarship because he's very unique, very distinct, and I mean any Muslim that I know. And this is why I wanted to have the discussion, because I'm like, Ali is going to bring up a point. I know he does tons of research, because even before I got involved in college community, I was sitting in on his Monday night class. You probably didn't notice me then, but I was sitting in and I was picking up some information. I'm like, wow, this dude is kind of, so I said to myself, when I get a chance, I need to ask him a couple of questions. And R over there sparked a little bit of that because he brought the subject matter. But ultimately, I think that what he said was key. The purpose of us having this scholastic interface was to get to the bottom line is how can we extract the moral precepts from these ancient texts and its proper perspective, and how can we bring it back into a format that is palatable to indigenous people here in America? Because once we understand how to transition from what we've been given, which is a counterfeit, and go back to the substance, it will raise the moral integrity and character of our people here in America, and we will resort back to indigenous spirituality, where we uphold a creator, whether that creator is a singularity, whether it's a higher power, whatever you want to consider it, your great ancestors, and show that we have accountability to a force that is greater than us, because this will imbue upon Black people to socially interface with each other more dynamically, more respectfully, to be able to politicize and be political, because this is what all of these indigenous systems have done, and also economically, so that we could be lucrative in the material that we produce, and the manufacturing that we do, and the businesses that we do, because we're trying to wean away from Big Brother and being dependent on the state system and creating indigenous systems that's protected by international law, and using this as leverage so that way we can be back on an even playing field and be able to have something of substance and a quality of life for our people in America today. And I think ultimately that is exactly what we're trying to hit home. We had to give y'all a little intellectual spark first, but ultimately the bottom line is that we didn't get to touch on today is that after we go through all this material back and forth, ultimately we're going to show you how we can extract these precepts, put it in modern day science, modern day philosophy, modern day nation building, and show everybody that the recipe for our liberation comes from these texts, as well as the ancestors here in America that wrote their own recipes, and how we can use this as a conglomerate system to empower Black people and to raise up the next generation who the torch is going to be handed to. And I just want to say that, and I'm going to let Sanera sign off real quick for Ali Muhammad. I want to do my last 15 minutes, and then
all right. Before you
Scholars who eat meat are corrupt. Team Melody, baby.
All right, go ahead before Ali go.
Yeah, I just like to say, Black African Power, Brother Ali and Brother Divine, and the young female Black is in the building, right? I'm just saying, Ali, you know damn well Divine ain't ready for a theological debate with you, man. That was like candy from the baby, you know?
This guy's crazy,
what I want to
man.
say is, though,
Of course he's gonna say that to start fights.
Brothers for the theology, and it just was a pleasure to sit back and watch you up to take from that standpoint. Now that's a total different thing from dealing with anthropology and paleontology. But as far as theology,
y'all be sleeping on Divine, huh?
I'm not sleeping on Divine. I'm saying it was an excellent discourse in theology. It certainly was in theology, right? But you know what I'm saying? I don't even deal with theology like that. But I just like to give both of them a shout out. Ali, you got to come on, hang out with me, man.
I'll be in Atlanta in 2 weeks, baby.
No, he said he's coming on here.
I'm coming in the 18th, man. We're gonna go down there and beat up some Hebrews, man.
on the 18th. I'll be in
Hey, yo, you said you coming to beat up some Hebrews?
Yeah, we're gonna finish them off.
Now, you know, Tazariak is like a giant.
No, Tazariak, I met Tazariak, man. I like Tazariak. He just don't like African people. I like Tazariak. I like Tazariak. And that's easy work. That's easy work on that. But it's okay, man. I'm just saying, look, shout out to Lying Lex. Tell him stop getting all shaky like that, man. Nobody want to fight him, man. We just talking, man. Right. Did he apologize for like that? Act like didn't go to Africa? Did he apologize yet? Because he's talking about elders this and all of that.
He said Blake didn't go to Africa.
They didn't go to
You said what he said it. What was he? What did he say?
He said what he said, huh?
What? Did he apologize?
No, he said, what did he say, though?
Lying Lex said that Blake did not go to Africa, remember?
Right.
Where did he go?
He doesn't know. Ali didn't know.
Ali don't know. Where did he say he go?
Oh, Ali don't know that?
No.
Oh, Ali, look, Lying Lex told the whole world that Polite was sitting in front of a green screen. That he did not travel to Egypt. That's what he told the world.
I ain't gonna get on it.
So we no longer call him Lying Lex, we call him Lying Lex. That's his new name.
You said
Nah,
you addressed that.
Nah, his name is Zion Lex, man. Don't call the brother.
Yeah.
It's lying.
He said he green screened it? Did he actually say that?
He represents the Hebrew
Nah,
community.
he's Zion
He can
Lex,
say
man.
he
Come
made a
on, man.
mistake. Okay, well, he can say he made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes.
He said he green screened it.
Just apologize to bro. Don't make me more upset. Apologize.
Yeah.
Apologize. That's all I'm saying. Hey, man up. We make mistakes in our work sometimes, and we should apologize when we do. So, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I don't create a climate of harrowing feelings of wanting to fight. I don't want to do that.
Yo, the rain might save our HBK. It look like it's going to be raining, they said.
No, I got a damn umbrella. Tell them the Lord going to stop the rain. Y'all ain't got me.
Yo, any event, we're gonna be up in the National Black Theater or something.
Yeah, we're going to be in there, man. Man said he's going to turn it out, man. It's going to be a good time, man. Black African power to the brothers, you know what I'm saying?
Peace.
Islam to the Muslims, and Hebrewism to the Hebrews. But y'all know we're 200,000 shillings.
I knew you was coming.
Yeah, man. Zion, hey, yo,
What?
Brother Divine said he never said that the bodies was out there, that he could find them.
He did. Hey, stop, Divine. Don't do it.
So show it to me why I said it. Show me why I said it. Show me why I said it. Show me why I said it.
He got a little more skill than you on that, yo. He actually tried to say that they found the bones of John the Baptist.
I gave y'all a point of reference.
He outdid you on that, bro.
I gave him a point of reference. He just saying that.
He did that. He did Divine. Come on, man. Just say you made a mistake.
Nah, I didn't make no mistake. You need to go back and watch the videotape.
Man. I mean, at the end of the day, we went to
Well, y'all know, man. He always coming.
But while we getting in, we just gonna get it in.
All right, brother. Peace, brother.
Deuces to you, man.
All right, man.
Back on a good note.
Black African power. I know, right?
All right, man. That's what's up, family. Hey, stay tuned in. We ain't going nowhere yet. Brother Ali is out of here, but Brother Divine have a 15-minute closure for y'all. Something powerful he gonna bring to the table. So stay tuned in.
House of Consciousness. We did it again.
Yes, sir. You already know.
We did it again, baby. We don't play.
You need help or you got everything?
No, I'm good. They already did. They already started up what they started up. All I gotta do is just hop in the taxi and get over there, God. I'm good. I'm good.
I can.
All right, my man.
Keep it moving, God. Yes, sir.
I appreciate your time, man. I know it's worth money.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna sit here and build again,
Yes,
man.
Sir, you already know it.
Again, God. We out of here.
Peace,
my God.
Peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, family, as you can see, I'm trying to show y'all something here. It's going down. There you go right there. We're going to have the General, Sarah Sultan said.
Can I bring the jacket in here?
Professor James Small.
Yeah. Is it over here?
Inquisition. Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Kai Tariq Bey, Shaka Utmost, Professor Dr. Hayawata Kamene, Brother Polite, Samaj is going down April the 19th.
Yeah. We gotta turn it up.
This Sunday coming up. April the 19th. Everywhere.
Yeah. I'll be over there. I'm gonna record it. This birthday, I'm right over there.
Peace and black power. All right, so Brother Divine, you set up? You ready?
Yeah, I'm standing up right now.
Okay.
Ali was like, I ain't got no time limit. I'm the boss. I'm like,
You know what?
I did the whole boss, baby.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, only the boss.
Ali's like, I ain't got no time.
Honor, yeah. Honor the boss training.
Boss training. I hear that.
Maybe go back.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Ali.
All right, Ali.
Sir.
It's right.
Said it was right?
Hey,
He's like, what's good?
right?
No, yeah, AutoZone. You put it back on there. No, remember when you changed it at the
Made you laugh, right?
No, I want you to.
We made you laugh, right?
Unless what happens is this, everyone quality now.
Can you make it open? Like
Open? I mean,
Oh man, right? Oh man. Hold on, quick. I didn't even get to present anything because Ali had like the last 35 minutes. So I'm gonna put something up for like 10 minutes real quick. I want to address a couple of things and then I'm out of here. But yo, good question, man. Exactly. 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 Yeah. Exactly. Because Ali, you know, after he doing the PowerPoint, I thought we were just gonna sit here and talk. But he had a fully made PowerPoint. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I don't have a PowerPoint. My notes are all over the place on my computer. I said, let me go off the dome and then show a couple of things if he was to challenge any of the claims that I had made. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but I mean, in regards to what he was saying, as far as like Isa and Moshe and Miriam, because he was saying that what you were saying was false. You know what I'm saying? And he had to correct what you were saying. And, you know, Ali has his own perspective, but like I had mentioned some before, it would have been nice if he would have brought that out at the debate. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't bring none of that material out at the debate, you know? So, I mean, you know, and now Sanetta is trying to get us to the debate, and I know you would like to see it too, but if he does, hopefully he'll bring that information out so I can challenge it. You understand? Because I didn't see no primaries of that, but I want to see it. And I'm going to show right now, before I leave, I'm going to show the earliest Qur'ans and the dating for the Qur'ans. And I'm also going to show some additional information in regards to migration patterns and anthropology that he didn't really address. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's all good, man. He be going fast, and we try to challenge him. He's like, wait, no. Let me say this. And I'm like,
yo, we still on live, man. All right.
Yeah, it's all respect, it's all love, you know what I'm saying? So we just challenging the information because that's what we do as intellectual titans. We challenge information with each other, but at the end of the day, we sit down and we build. You know what I'm saying? People don't know a lot of the behind closed doors building that we do with each other, and we do it ultimately because we know we have a responsibility to the people. You know what I'm saying? So we can have disagreements ourselves, but at the end of the day, we have to look collective because the people are viewing us. You understand what I'm saying? And like I tell you all the time, we are not to superimpose any kind of proselytized religion on other people. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's when it becomes, you know, very spooky. That's when it becomes very indigenous and unfair. If you have a particular, you know, conviction, fine, that's your persuasion. You know, but when you go about and forcefully converting people over that, then you're not doing no better than when the Arabs do the jihad. You're not doing no better than when the Christians do the crusades. You're not doing any better than that. And we as Black people have to rise above that. You know what I'm saying? So. Well,
you know, we go through the Hebrews, but I give it to you. You did a fucking phenomenal job because you didn't have a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it wasn't like, well, that's an excuse for you. No, it's not an excuse. Yeah, I have no excuse for you like you did fucking great. Like, it's almost hard to tell there's a handicap if there was any. Because you made it still look easy. So both y'all did a real good job. Just be careful with Ali. Because he's slick, man. What I mean by slick, he got some shit in his sleeve. You know what I'm saying? And it may be a specific word or two that he might use that'll help him capitalize on a point or something. You got it because you said slow him down.
Yeah.
That's what you guys do, because you let him build real quick.
He'll keep going.
You don't take notes in between them talking.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what he's doing.
It's a better quality.
Yeah, so y'all did a good job, man. I'm still watching with that.
Okay, we appreciate that. But let me give you the sign out real quick, and then I'm gonna set up.
Yo, man. So what you think? Shaka and Zion Lex in the ring.
Oh yeah, that's going to the subject matter. I think
I'm gonna tell you why. I feel. But check it out.
Both of them are subject to emotionalism, depending on what you say.
Nah, Shaka can handle it now. You see, Shaka can handle it.
I don't got no lack of
I'm gonna talk to you guys about health while we're on.
Yeah, you might as well. Go ahead. 6-month health challenge. Yeah, it's recording.
All right. So look, my name is Amar. ReadyForMy.com. I guess hosted tonight. I actually helped put this together. I wanted to see how everybody soccer from high school kid. That actually happened. So I talked about the prospect about this. Now I'm going to actually debate. In my heart of hearts, I actually appreciate the discussion. I saw. What's the brother name with the dread, with the braid?
Oh, Shaka.
Shaka, I'm supposed to sit right here on this couch and talk about Ali about Islam and the origins of it. I thought the discussion was really good. So I went my brother about prospect. He's featured already also to discuss what you see today. So if they actually debate, it'd be great if we don't. This was still a treat. You know, I'm not rooting for anybody in particular. I'm rooting for the truth, and that's what the revolution is about. Also, you can check out the 6-month Optimal Health Challenge on Facebook. That's the number 6 month Optimal Health Challenge. That's with myself, Ali Muhammad. We discuss raw fruitarianism and raw vegetarianism. My company, which is Ready for Raw, we take people on transitions from wherever they are dietary, wherever they are in their lifestyle. We're going to take them step by step to get them to the optimal health. I myself am still on the journey, and the key to that is honesty. It's called honesty, get your mind right, your body right. It's going to make your soul right, or enhance your spirituality. If you subscribe to that. Again, that's the 6-month Optimal Health Challenge. Also, you can find videos and my videos on ready4i.com. That's Ready for Revolution. And again, I'm on. It means more of me, more of myself, not yourself. All right? That was good, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the family.
Your camera recorded it too?
No, I've been doing that in my house.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Come here. Somebody said, nigga, you look malnutrition.
Yo,
Tell them what you do. See, they don't know.
Look.
Tell them what you do.
It's okay that I look malnutrition. You know what I mean? I got pictures right now on my phone when I used to drink alcohol. I was always a slim person. That's not.
See, they don't know what you do. Tell them no diet. No in on that.
I'm going to tell them right now. So look, the lifestyle is a raw fruitarian lifestyle. The crux of that lifestyle is that you want to remove the skins and the seeds from the fruit, which reduces the phytic acid, or like Ali said, the phosphorus, which is actually an agent to strip minerals from our body. Now, if you need to purge or have an intense detox, you want to ingest vegetables, skins and seeds, things like that. But if it becomes a point where you have to rebuild the body, I'm rebuilding my body right now. That's the truth. You know what I mean? But again, if you go to my Facebook, my name is Arjenis. That's ARJENIS. You can check my past pictures. I've been in January for a year now. That's why the last year was giving me out. You can see that I've always been a slim person. So me looking a certain way, that's all right. I'm honest with myself. Show me a picture. Let me see how you look, and let's have an assessment.
Well, how long have you been on a fruit diet now?
Last year.
So you've been on a fruit diet.
Yeah.
That's all you eat is just fruits, nuts, and stuff. You eat any nuts?
To be totally clear, when I first started, I was divulging in some vegetables, like seaweed, raw seaweed, and I actually was toasted at the time, and also dulse, which is a purple algae. These are both sea vegetables, and I actually just gave up those vegetables about a month and a half ago. So now I'm on a raw food lifestyle, but I was always moving the skins and seeds since last year was given now, so I was divulging heavy in macadamias. I wouldn't actually co-sign. I respect the transition because if the nuts actually help you get off the chicken and the cholesterol and all that, then utilize the nuts. I mean, it's all about the transition.
I was just joking. I said pause.
Yeah, you gotta say no homo.
Because you got people like.
When you dealing with these dudes, man, you gotta say no homo. Pause or something.
Yeah, exactly.
My life probably said, hey,
yeah.
yo.
Just messing with
listen,
you,
man.
You know, so look. Again,
but do you feel the difference?
Oh yeah.
Do you feel the difference when you eating this fruits and
stuff? I feel the difference greatly, man. I was the person that I would always get colds or whatever, and I thought it was because I was slim my whole life, but then I realized it was actually due to the yeast and fungus in my body. Now listen, I'm not, my purpose is not to, let's say, lose weight or whatever. I'm all about countering parasites that actually from my position, from my perspective, actually influence all dysfunction that we see. So right now, some of the TV that do a black power and all that, I would say that the parasites that is actually influencing what we call white supremacy, or what outside we see dysfunction in neighborhoods or around the world. That's the Jewish parasites, and that's what my lifestyle is about. So whatever you got going on, if you're Hebrew Israelite, if you're medical, whatever, I would say implement my lifestyle, my dietary lifestyle, and enhance what you got going on. That's what I'm all about. Just enhancing what you got going on. Keep your ideology necessary, but change your lifestyle, because the disease out here killing us and killing our family. You look at our family and the elders and see that people are they're educated, they're studious, but their health is out of whack. So that's what I'm about, man. Countering parasites, and with that we can actually have successful families.
All right, so that's ready for all right there, y'all. Ready for all, ready for raw. We get ready to get it in.
All right, so
with brother DivineProspect.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch on a few things real quick. I'm not gonna go too in depth because I don't have Ali here to defend. So I'm not gonna attack Ali. I'm just gonna present information, because if I was rebutting anything he was saying, I would like. All right, they can hear me now. All right. What I was saying is I'm just gonna present some final information, about 10-15 minutes, and I'm gonna close out. I'm not gonna get too deep because Ali's not here to rebut a lot of things that I'm saying. So I just want to put a couple of information out there for the people, because a couple of claims were made, not just by him, but in overall in regards to that ideology. So first thing I want to address is in regards to the Quran. Okay. Now, what I have up here is a book, and a brother of mine has shared it with me. I had some articles on this subject matter, but he actually gave me a book, an ebook on it. It's called Judaism and the Quran. Okay. And the reason why this book is very important, right? Let me show y'all the rest of this. So scroll. All right. It's called Judaism and the Quran, Biblical and Talmudic Backgrounds of the Quran and its Commentaries by Abraham I. Koch. Now, why is that important? Because when you look at the Quran, it is well known that a lot of the things that are in the Quran actually comes from Judaism, more so the Talmud, which consists of the Gemara and the Mishnah. And the reason why this is important is because you'll see it in this book and several books on the subject matter, a lot of the influence on the Quranic teachings that come strictly out of Judaism. Okay, so I wanted to bring that point up for the audience that may not be aware of that. You can go ahead and grab this ebook if you like, or if not, you can just Google it for yourself or go to the Schomburg Library, any library, and do research on this subject matter, and you will see the eerily startling similarities between the Mishnah and the Gemara, which make up the Talmud and the Quran. Remember, the Mishnah and the Gemara, the Talmud, was codified from about 180 to about 220 AD. And this was almost 400 years before the Quran came on the scene. So you got to see where this influence is coming from, where the people that's penning the script, where they're getting their information from when they compile it as a whole and present it back to the masses. So that's the first thing I wanted to address, right? So I'm going to get rid of this. All right. Now, the next thing I want to address is the manuscript evidence in regards to the Quran. What I wanted my brother Ali Muhammad to do is not give me epigraphy, which is fine. I wanted him to give me codexes and manuscripts. I wanted to give me codexes and manuscripts of the Quran and show me that it predates the manuscripts that have eventually made up what we call today the Bible. Now, he made it very clear when he said that during the Middle Ages, a compiling took effect in regards to which books was included and how it was represented back to the people, represented to the people, and that's fine. I'm not taking away from him, because he actually agrees with me when he talks about these manuscripts that I had mentioned. Because he says, yeah, these manuscripts are floating around. He even said the word scriptures earlier, and you'll see when he mentioned that, he talks about the scriptures, and I asked him, well, what scripture are you talking about? He says, well, the ones that eventually became corrupt, which is very, very important. This is why textual criticism is very, very important. This is why I do textual criticism, by looking at all the text types of what can be called the Bible or the different manuscripts, and being able to do deductive analysis to try to discern what the original autographs have said. But you have to look at the full sum of the evidence or of the manuscripts themselves to be able to determine that. Now, when you deal with people who deal with the Quran, you got to understand that a lot of the Quran that we have today, and this is why Ali said that Abd al-Malik was Muhammad, because a lot of the Qurans that's in existence are written in the Kufic script, and we know that at least the you can no, you can turn it on. Yeah, I'll wait for you. Give me 1 second, fam. No, close it and open it. Yeah, open it. There you go. You can aim it over there. Roll the thing down. There you go. All right. Let me fix this for the people. So, all right. All right. So, so what I was saying was, in regards to the manuscripts, when you deal with anybody that deals with the Quranic manuscripts, I was asking them to show me a Quranic manuscript that predates the manuscripts that I listed earlier, off the dome, that he would have to address. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why we came to the common consensus. He says, well, when I say Bible, I'm talking about anything that was compiled during the Middle Ages. I'm not talking about any of the manuscripts that predated the Middle Ages. And if he says that, that's safe, that's cool, and I'll roll with that. No problem, right? But when we look at the Quran, and again, we don't have any Ma'il and we don't have any Mashk, okay? And the ones that we do, it dates almost 160 years after Muhammad came on the scene. And one of them is in the British Museum, okay? That's actually written in what's called the Ma'il script, but that's dated to about 790 AD or CE, however you want to date. Now, what Ali Muhammad was stating was that Abd al-Malik is the Muhammad that is written about in the text itself. But what I'm presenting right here is a Quran, okay, that we have that predates Abd al-Malik. It comes before he became the caliphate. So the question would be, if he is Muhammad, how do we have a manuscript that predates him being the caliph? Something needs to be addressed on that. Now, I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to read this, and I'm going to give you all a date too, because I have a date here too. Let me go ahead and get this, and I'm going to get it for context. So I want you guys to remember, let me bring this over because it's kind of small. Y'all can't see it. I'm going to have to read this out to y'all. All right, so what we got to understand, we have to look at timelines, right? So the date that we have for Marwan, who he calls, was called Abd al-Malik, when he came on the scene, this was after 680 AD. Now, the reason why I'm telling y'all this is because I want to show you this manuscript, and we're going to see the dating on this manuscript via paleography and carbon dating to try and ascertain when this manuscript was created. And I'm going to show you this, right? So going back into this manuscript, we're going to read. This is the article that I got, right? It says, a copy of the newly discovered MABI 165 Quranic script, which may be the oldest copy of the Quran in the world. Washington, November 19, 2014. Researchers from the Project Quranica at the University Library in Tübingen, in Germany, have discovered a copy of the Quran that may be the oldest in the world, dating to within 20 to 40 years of the death of Islam's prophet Muhammad. The copy of the Quran, dubbed MABI 165 by scientists, appears in the famous Kufic script, which is very important because this is one of the Uthman rescissions that was created, popularized by Imam Ali ibn Abu Talib, who moved the center of the Islamic government to Kufa, and that after being elected as Caliph in 656 AD. Because what Ali did was that he moved the Umayyad Caliphate towards Kufa, which at the time was being controlled by the Sassanid Empire, right? The manuscript with a 95.4% statistical probability can be dated to the period between 649 and 675 BCE, according to the Medieval Histories magazine. Why is that important? Because this time period was before Abd al-Malik became the caliphate. So now this document here has to be addressed. And that's not the only one. Let me give you another document. And this is what I didn't do, was create a PowerPoint, because I didn't think we was going to do PowerPoints, but it's fine. I'm gonna get another manuscript for y'all. All right, here we go. And I'm gonna have to Google this in real quick. I think I got it saved up here. All right, I'll pull it from here. All right, so this is called the Sana'a. Oh, there we go. All right, let's go up. Whoops. All right. Okay, this is called the Sana'a manuscript, right? And I have to pull this up real quick. And you can also see it in the Britannica's encyclopedia as well. A lot of people, they make a big fuss of Wikipedia, but a lot of other people, they use Wikipedia. I had to do it real quick because I don't have a PowerPoint. but I pulled up Wikipedia so you guys can go back and research it yourselves. It says the Sana'a's Helene Pest, and again, the source is at the bottom if y'all want it. Dubbed Sana'a is one of the oldest Quranic manuscripts in existence. It was found along with many other Quranic and non-Quranic fragments in Yemen in 1972 during restoration of the Great Mosque of Sana'a. The manuscript is written on parchment, not papyri, and comprises 2 layers of text. This is important. The upper text conforms to the standard Uthmanic Quran, whereas the lower text contains many variants to the standard text. This is important because when you do textual criticism to all of these Qurans, you'll see that there's variants there, because we're being told by some in the Islamic community, not all, that this is a perfect book that was handed down to Muhammad. But when we look at the manuscript evidence, there's a lot of variants, and this is very important why Uthman decided to call a council and standardize the canon, because it was causing division within his armies, where they wanted to know how did Muhammad pray, and they had questions because they had memorized it, and a lot of the soldiers that memorized were being killed off. So he wanted to preserve it as close as he can to those who were close to Muhammad. This is very important. Let's read the rest of it. It says, an edition of the lower text was published in 2012. A radiocarbon analysis has dated the parchment containing the lower text to before 671 AD with a 99% accuracy. I have 2 documents here that are showcasing that these manuscripts was written before Abd al-Malik became the ruling caliphate of the Umayyad Empire. They have to address these manuscripts. This is very important. Very, very important. All right? And now, like I said earlier, if these were manuscripts that was written in Medina or Mecca, they were written in the Ma'il, which means sloping or slanted, and they will also be written in the Mosque script. And these are dialectic scripts that was written in that area at that time of Arabic, because we have some inscriptions that we can compare it to, but we don't have any that are written in that. And the one that is dates to 790 AD, and that's in the British Museum. So I want to touch that because these are 2 of many manuscripts that I have on the Quran. Also look at the Samarkand Quran, and also look at the top copy, which is in Istanbul, Turkey, Quran. These are 2 of the oldest codexes or full books of the Quran, and both of them also date to an earlier reign, about, we'll say about the time that Abd al-Malik was Muhammad. I'm sorry, it was not Muhammad. Abd al-Malik was the caliphate, and he was ruling the Umayyad Empire at that time before it got into the hands of the Abbasids, right? So the reason why I'm showing this is because anybody that deals with manuscripts has to address these independent manuscripts that I addressed. They have to go back and analyze them and prove to me that these came after Abd al-Malik came on the scene. That's the first thing I want to address, right? All right, I got about 10 minutes. All right, so let me go to the next one. All right, so we're going to move these out the way. I also want you to go back and read the Surah 66 and Surah 19 for context, right? Read the entire thing for context, so that way we can understand what the subject matter is of these particular, and this is called contextual analysis. Also, I needed Ali Muhammad to address all of these verses in the Quran that is referring to Isa, okay? It says, people of the book, and I think he addressed some of it, and again, I don't want to get too deep because he's not here to rebut, but it says, "O people of the book, commit no excesses in your religion, nor say Allah, but by the truth. Christ Jesus, the son of Mary, was no more than, or was a messenger of Allah, and his word which he bestowed on Mary, and a spirit proceeding from him. So believe in Allah and his messengers. Say not Trinity." See, that's very important, because this is being derived from a doctrine that was circulating at the time. Okay, he says it would be better for you, for Allah is one Allah, glory be to him, which comes from the Shema of the Israelites, when they said one Allah or Echad in the Hebrew. Glory be to him, for exalted is he above having a son. To him belong all things in heaven. Christ sustaineth, Surah 4172. Christ sustaineth nor to serve and worship Allah. 517. And blasphemy indeed are those that say that Allah is Christ the son of Miriam. All of this is important. When we go to right here, it says 546, and in the footsteps we sent Isa, the son of Miriam, confirming the law that had come before him, or the Torah. We sent him the Injil, therein was guidance and light and confirmation of law, and had come before him a guidance and an admonition to those who fear Allah. They do blasphemy who say Allah is Christ, the son of Mary, but said, Christ, O children of Israel, worship Allah. Children of Israel. Christ, the son of Mary, was no more than a messenger Many were the messengers that passed away before him. His mother was a woman of truth. They had both to eat their daily food, saying they were human. Curses were pronounced on those among the children of Israel who rejected faith by the tongue of David and of Esau, the son of Miriam, because they disobeyed and persisted in excesses. You got to ask a person, what is the precepts of what this is talking about in the Quran? This is Surah 4 and Surah 5. If it's not talking about a person called Yahushua or Yahawashai, then who is it referring to? Very important. It says here, 5:11 and 12, it says, behold, the disciples said, O Isa, the son of Miriam, can the Lord send down to us a table set with things that's not in there from heaven? Send Isa, fear Allah if you have faith. Send Isa, the son of Miriam. O Allah, send us from heaven a table set, and there may be for us, for the first and the last of us, a solemn festival and a sign from thee to provide for our well-being. Why is this important? This is just such an assertion. Look at all these surahs I got. They say Allah most gracious has begotten a son. Where did this term of begotten come from? How did it end up in the Quran? Look at all of this, fam. And remember her who guarded her chastity. We breathed into our spirit, and we made her and her son a sign for all peoples. And we made the son of Miriam and his mother as a sign. We gave them both shelter and high ground for the rest of security and front. If you keep reading, when Jesus or Isa, the son of Mary, is held up as an example, behold, the people raise a clamor of theorists. So many texts, and I'm going to move forward. But when you read all these texts, you have to ask anybody who is interpreting the Quran, where is the story coming from that predated the Quranic text? Where are they getting this from? This is why I say you do contextual analysis and read the context of chapter 19 and the context of chapter 66 and look for the precepts and what is colloquially called the Bible and also the Talmud to see where a lot of these teachings come from. Some was original, but a whole bunch of it was derived from the Talmud and the pre-existing scriptures that were circulating in this time period. All right, so let's move forward. So you gotta forgive me because I don't have a PowerPoint. Now, Ali was addressing two things in the Bible I'm gonna address, and then I'm gonna touch on the Hebrew Israelites being black, and I'm done. The two things he was addressing in the Bible was the first thing he was talking about vegetarians, and vegetarians. What he was speaking about is the food that was given to Adam and Eve, right? The food that was given to them was the plants that bear seed, fruits. Hold on, we're gonna get to that. Right. And then the fruits, the plants that bear seed, any seed-bearing plant and fruits. That this was the pristine diet before the fall of man. After man fell, the Most High put a curse upon the earth, and thorns had sprung up, and now man had to toil to get this food, as opposed to before it was given to him in the garden. This is what the text says. All right. So we're not dealing with belief here. We're dealing with the evidence of the text. All right. Now, when Lamech, who is the father of Noah, came on the scene, Lamech said that you will bring relief to the people for the struggles that we are having for toiling the earth for food. So after the flood occurred, when Noah settled, the Most High then commissioned them to also add meat to their diet. So what I want to ask anybody who looks at history, we're dealing with the Paleolithic period, the Mesolithic period, we're dealing with the Neolithic period, all the way into the Iron Age. I want you to show me tribes of people who only ate vegetables and fruits and had no other nuts, no other meat in their diet. You have to show me this, whether it's in ancient Kemet, whether it's in the Levant region. Show me several tribes. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm saying I want somebody to show it to me who were influenced by any of these ancient writings that only had a vegetable-based diet. You got to show that to me. So the relief that the Most High gave Noah is that now I'm gonna allow you to eat meat. Because before it was not sanctioned because they was vegetarians. Then he jumped to Daniel. What you got to read in the book of Proverbs, the author of Proverbs was telling the person who was the recipient to be careful about the food that is set before you. Before you eat any food that is set before you, you have to be aware of how it's prepared. Any meat that was sacrificed to idols, what we will get in the Torah and also in the New Testament, was an abomination to the Most High. Daniel understood, because remember, they were in captivity at this time. Daniel was not a nation. Daniel was in captivity at this time, and being that he was in captivity, he understood that the Persians were sacrificing their meat to the idols. This is why he said, I will not eat of that meat. And he said, you know what? I'm just going to stick to vegetable because all the meat that's being prepared by the Persians have been sacrificed and offered to idols. So he abstained himself from meat, and meat was also abstained upon when he was fasting. This is very, very important. Now, when you're talking about the Nazarenes, again, the town of Nazareth, you got to put it within context. That's very important at the time. The Nazarenes adopted this ideology from who? They adopted it from Yahushua. They adopted this from him because he was upbraiding the Pharisees because they were deviating away from being Karaite Hebrews who stuck strictly to the Tanakh and was started to superimpose their Talmudic teachings into a composite teaching that they was given to the people. So they were not just reading from the Torah or the Nevi'im or the Ketuvim, they were also reading from the Talmud. And this is what he was upbraiding. Whether or not the Talmud was good for the people or not is irrelevant. He was upbraiding this. And after he passed, the Nazarenes and the Ebionites, which would be one and the same person, they started to follow him. But before they came on the scene and became prominent, you had the Essenes. Study the Essenes. Because the things that the Ebionites and Nazarenes, were being persecuted for, the Essenes separated themselves from the Pharisees and created what we have today, which is the Dead Sea Scrolls, while the production and use of the Pentateuch and the Hebrew Bible was still being used in the area of Jerusalem. And it was near the Qumran caves. Very, very important because they kept themselves away from the corruption of the Pharisees. All right? So I wanted to address that. I'm going to address the food. I address that now. Let me address this last thing and I'm going to go because I don't want to get too in depth because Ali's not here to rebut it. But I'm going to address this last thing and I'm going to give a case, a circumstantial case for the Hebrew Israelites being black people. Ali showed you in the book of the Songs of Solomon, which the Songs of Solomon is an allegory about the love between a man and his wife that was substantiated by certain concrete information. One of the things is that there were women who were out in the field and there were women that were inside. The women that were out in the field, she was considered a Shulamite. She was called a Shulamite. Look to see who the Shulamites were. She was much darker than the people that were in the house. It would be the same way with the mulattoes that was on a plantation, who were the house niggas, and then you had the field niggas. The field niggas were mostly dark. The house niggas is mostly light skinned. And then we would create a dynamic where they would battle against each other based on skin complexion, whereby which the mulattoes would think themselves to be much better than those who were black. But overall, at the end of the day, they still came from the same lineage of those who came from West Africa. It was the same thing at that time. There were people who were much darker than others. Okay? Black people come in all shades, like the scriptures say. The Most High is going to make us as a speckled bird. There's going to be different shades of all the people of Israel, just like there's different shades of people who are in Africa. You have different shades of people. This is very, very important. So when he gives you that scripture, okay, the terms Naveh and Shachar, we got to look at these words, okay? These words means that I am black, Shachar, which means darken of black, and Naveh means beautiful. So comely can mean beautiful, it can be desirable. This is what it's saying. And Ba is the syntax there, which means and. So this is very important when you read the text and you read the entire thing, because if it was banging on black people, then why was Solomon courting this woman if he hated black women? If the authors was trying to say that black people are ugly and blah, 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 then why was Solomon choosing her above all the other women? Are y'all following me? This is why you got to read the context. Read the entire book of Song of Solomon, and you'll get the entire context of what's going on. She was well desired by Solomon more so than the other light-skinned women. This is very important. Now, I'm done with those two. Let me show you a few evidences, because this keeps coming up that the Bible was written by white people. I proved this with my last two lectures on Sinetta, the one does the Bible provide insight and condition of blacks in America, and when I was dealing with the biblical Hebrew language. Close it.
I want to ask you, brother. So, light skin versus dark skin been going on for years and years like that?
It's been going on for a long time, man, long time. But it became much worse during slavery because we were being raped. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to look up the. Let's close. You can close it. I want you to look up the slave codes. Slave codes are very, very important in your history. Look up slave codes, and I'm gonna do a lecture on that soon. So I hear this gripe about the original writers being white people. Now, Ali Muhammad said that it was conceived. The Bible itself was conceived and compiled during the Middle Ages. All right. During that time, there was a lot of infiltration that was coming on by outsiders. But what I'm going to show you is that the people who actually wrote the manuscripts that I provided prior to the 6th century, these were all melanated people. And when the original text came down the line, remember, our temple was destroyed in 70 AD. The temple was destroyed. In that temple was the book of the law, or the Torah. And when we go to the Arch of Titus, was erected in 85 AD, which you can find in Rome, you'll see that the Romans was pillaging the temple and taking all the items out, one of them being a book. Go back and look at the Arch of Titus. This is very important. So now the people had to find another way to write down this text. Hellenization took place when the Greeks came on the scene, and now the Greeks wanted to Hellenize all the known world for their culture, their language, their customs, etc. So they took all of the ancient manuscripts and they converted it over to Greek. And we're saying Greek colloquially. And this is very important that you read Restolen Legacy by G.M. James. It's a great book. All right. Huh? No. I have a few more slides to show. Is it on? Okay. So I'm going to talk while that loads up. All right. So I'm going to show, based on anthropological evidence, that the individuals that were there in that region of Jerusalem, they were people who were melanated people, and we know so because we're looking at the cranial features, and they demonstrate Afrocoid elements. And this is very, very important. I'm going to show you something. I didn't even get to go in depth, but look at the Natufians. And the Natufians is a very great study if you want to look in Neolithic time period in the Levant region, where these people had cultures that were similar to those that was in North Africa. And the premise or the theory is that they migrated from North Africa and they merged with the indigenous people that was in the Levant region. This is very important because you start to see agriculture, and one of the earliest cities on the land, which dates about 8,000 BCE, is the city of Jericho that the scriptures talk about. It's a very, very important thing. All right. Now, I'm going to show you the evidence. As soon as come up a few slides where I'm going to demonstrate for you from extra biblical accounts that line up with the Bible that show you the people that were indigenous in the land were melanated people, and they were not white people. And these are the people that formed the script. All right. Is it on? Is it still loading up? Okay.
What's your position on phonology? You talk about Afrocoid skull and all that?
Yeah, well, the phenotypes, and the phenotypes have to do with the features that's exhibited by the genotype. The genotype is the genes, and when you have an expression of a gene, that's a phenotype. And this is very important because when you have a phenotype, you can already assume or safely assume that the genotype has to be similar to those who have those features today. And I'm gonna touch on that a little bit so I can get into it and show y'all. It's not coming up? Okay. And I'm gonna show you a couple of images and a couple of extra biblical accounts so you can see who these people were. Now I'm gonna show this, and after this I'm done, because again, next time I come here, I'm gonna have a PowerPoint. So that way, like Ali said, we can codify our major points and we can go through each one of them on a PowerPoint slide, and that way I can be more cohesive in what I was sharing. But because I thought we were just having a sit down with just a conversation, I had to do everything off the dome. You feel what I'm saying? So I just threw out information off the dome. All right, so now I'm gonna show you something, right? Now we're gonna see what color were these people that wrote the Bible, or that the Bible was referring to. Okay?
It was white people.
Oh man, Simon said it was white people. You know he's the antagonist right now. All right, so we're gonna go into this Hebrew Israelites being black. All right. The first thing I want to show y'all. Let me get the Quran out the way, because Ali didn't think I was gonna bring the Quran with me. You know, some Hebrews do read the Quran. Let me close that. All right, let's get that. All right, first I want to show you some white Greeks. I want to show you this stuff, man. And I want you to go home, and you're already probably home, and study the Sea peoples and the Aegean Sea civilizations. I want you to go back and study this information, because when you study this, you'll see that what they were considered the Philistines to the Hebrews and the Sea peoples, and then depending on which dynasty we're talking about and which Nasut, they always spoke about these seafaring people that were raiders that were coming onto the land and was disrupting a lot of culture, especially in the area of Ugarit. And I didn't even get into the Ugaritic writings, and also my scientific articles that show you that the language that was spoken by the people was not the Hebrew that we have today, right? It was a more pristine form of Hebrew than we have today. And I have the evidence for that. I'm not going to be able to show it today, but next time I come back, when we do this build, I'm going to bring that information, because I want to show people that you got to study the Ugaritic text to understand the West Semitic family tree in regards to the language that we colloquially call now as being Hebrew. Because you have the Proto-Semitic that merged with this cuneiform text and created or became the breeding ground for the Hebrew that we have today, which is important. Now, what you're seeing here is a figure, right, which is a sculpture of the Aegean people that was about 2,000, 2,500 BCE. This does not look like any black features at all. All right? We're going to get another one. Matter of fact, let me move. Here's some more. This looks like white people or Caucasians. This is sculptures that were created by the Aegean civilizations, which we know as the Greeks, which was divided in 4 different tribes and had 3 different dialects from the same language. The Ionians being the most famous one, and you can see that again in Stolen Legacy and GM James of George's book, which is very important. Study this stuff because I'm showing you this for a reason, right? These were, again, the sea people. Let's move forward. Another image. Look at the pointy nose and the thin lips. Look at this. This is, again, some more art from the Aegean Sea, the Aegean civilizations. Move forward. Another figure from the Aegeans. Look at the breasts, how small they are. Because black women are known for very voluptuous breasts. I'm not being explicit. I'm just keeping it funky. And these people had very smaller breasts, and this has to do with the expression of their genes because they have a more recessive gene. All right? Now let's move forward. Now this is art from the people that you can go and you can see yourself in museums. Nothing, this is not black images of black people. Again, another image. This right here is the head of Ptolemy III. Look at his facial features. It's not a black person. Is that a black person? Son of?
No.
Is that a black person? Ptolemy the First?
No.
That don't look like no black person. Look at the sunken chin. I mean the protruding chin with the sunken lips. Look at the pointy nose. That's not a black person. Is this a black person to you?
Hell no.
And if you look at the rest of this image, which I did not want to show, your man had a very small penis. No homo. And the reason why I'm saying is because when you look at African art of sculptures, the men were very well endowed. Pause. No homo. And I'm saying this for a reason because they were accurately depicting what their people were that made them different. Again, this gave us the well-endowed phenotype that we as black men have today. Right? Oh man, I did have it here. Oh man, let's pass that. All right. Now I want to show you something. I want to show you that the scriptures identify the Greeks or the Aegean civilization as the tribe of Yavan that came from Japheth. This is very, very important because I showed you all the sculptures from the Aegean Sea from the tribe of Yavan. And I'm going to show you the scriptures that validate this. If you look at this map, it shows you where the lineage of Ham settled. It shows you where the lineage of Shem settled and the lineage of Japheth settled. Why is this important? Because Yavan, which is over here in the Aegean Sea, which is, where's the point at? Right here in the Aegean Sea, you had the tribe of Yavan from Japheth populate these islands over here. And during the time of population of those islands, they created all of that art and those sculpture that I just finished showing you guys. Now, how do we know that this is Yavan? How do we know that's translated as such? I'm going to get that for you, and then I'm going to show you the evidence in regards to the Hebrews being black. All right? I think that's all I want to show on that. Yeah, okay, so we done with that.
Who said the Hebrews was white?
Who said the Hebrews was white? Whoever says that the Bible was written by white people is saying the Hebrews was white. Would you say that? If you said that the Bible was written by the... Listen to what I'm saying. If you said the Bible was written by a white man, and I'm showing you the manuscripts that came about before the white people, or who we call white people, codified it in the Middle Ages, like Ali Muhammad says, the people who wrote the scripts prior to them were melanated people, and I'm going to demonstrate that. And even the incidents in the scriptures themselves that deal with history, because the scriptures have legends in there, it has myths in there, and it has history in there, and some allegory. The historical accounts line up with extra-biblical evidence of the same accounts, referring to people of melanation and people of color. And we're going to show that. Yeah. Peace to Tazariak, right? Off the dome, too. People got to know. I have this information off the top of my head. When people say, oh, Divine, when you give us PowerPoints, you're reading everything on the PowerPoint. Yes, and I'm putting it all on record for you guys, right? But you don't know that I can sit down and just give you stuff off my dome, a whole bunch of information. But the reason why I do PowerPoints is because I'm going to have the references for the claims that I'm making so you guys can go back and scrutinize, okay? All right, now, I just showed y'all the sea peoples. I showed y'all the Aegean civilizations, the Aegean islands and the Aegean Sea, which is the tribe of Yavan, which was the Greeks that we know today that eventually came and invaded, okay, the indigenous lands of Kemet and the indigenous lands of the Levant. The Ptolemies, after the death of Alexander the Great, set up shop in Kemet and in the Levant region, and then you had the Seleucids that came about after the Ptolemies in the Levant region. They took over the Levant region. These were not black people. These were not melanated people. I just showed you the images. These are all white people. All right? Now, I'm going to show you something. Two things. We're going to deal with the Mesha Stela, and we're going to deal with the Mesha Stela, the Moabite stone, and also we're going to deal with the black obelisk of Shalmaneser, which is very important because all of these are going to antiquate who we colloquially know now as being Hebrews, colloquially being called Hebrews. We're going to see how other cultures identify them. Let's look up the Moabite Stela. Now I'm gonna have to draft this up because again, I left a lot at home. Do you have a tissue real quick, Senator? I can use real quick. Let me type this in. Thanks, appreciate it. All right. What time is it? 6:51. All right, let me read this up. All right. All right. Now, this is the Misha Stela. And again, you can research this online. I had to pull it up online real quick because, again, I didn't bring a lot of my notes with me. I just used some formal conversation. But the Misha Stela, also known as the Moabite stone, is a stela inscribed stone set up around 840 BCE by King Misha of Moab, a kingdom located in modern Jordan. Misha tells how Shamash, the god of Moab, had been angry with his people and allowed them to be subjugated to Israel. But at length, Shamash returned and assisted Misha to throw up the yoke of Israel and restore the lands of Moab. Misha describes his many building projects. Now, why is this important? This is extra biblical evidence of something that is documented in the scriptures. Well, you're going to say, where's that in the scriptures? If you go to 2 Kings chapter 3, you know, for people that said that the Bible is not a history book. All right. Verse 4, it says at the top, the head note says Moab revolts. Now, Misha, king of Moab, raised sheep, and he had to pay the king of Israel a tribute of 100,000 lambs and the wool of 100,000 rams. But after Ahab died, the king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel. So at the time, King Joram set out from Samaria and mobilized all of Israel. He also sent this message to Jehoshaphat, king of Judah. All right. And he said that there's no J in Hebrew. So it's Yehudi or Yehudai. This is what we're talking about, right? The king of Moab has rebelled against me. Who will go with me to fight against Moab? Read the entire chapter, 2 Kings chapter 3, and what is written in the Moabite Stela, which we can look at 840 BCE. It's also validated in the scriptures. Now, if you read the Moabite Stela, you'll see it mentions Israel. It mentions Omri, who was one of the kings of Israel. It also gives you the tetragrammaton, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, which means it designates Israel to be connected to the God Yahweh. This is called the cult of Yahweh. It's who they refer to from the house of Omri, from the people of Israel, who are designated Israel. This is extra biblical evidence and then scriptural evidence that correlate with one another to let us know the people that we're talking about. You're going to say, Divine, why are we talking about this? I'm going to show you something. We're getting there, right? Now, when we look at the black obelisk of Shalmaneser, I can pull that up too. The black obelisk of Shalmaneser is a black limestone Neo-Assyrian bas-relief sculpture from Nimrud. Okay, and now if y'all looked at the news earlier, you'll see that the Arabs have destroyed Nimrud. They broke all the figurines, the statues, the war relief. They're destroying Nimrud. So it's good that we have this evidence now, because then people are going to say, oh, that didn't exist. Go online and look to see what they're doing. They're destroying Nimrud right now, all right, in northern Iraq. Commemorating the deeds of King Shalmaneser III, he reigned from 858 to 824 BC. This is when the stone was erected. Look at the dates, family. I'm going to show you how we're talking about it being black people. Okay, it is the most complete Assyrian obelisk yet discovered, and it's historically celebrated because it is thought to display the earliest ancient depiction of a biblical figure, Yahu, king of Israel. The traditional identification of Yah as Yahu has been questioned by some scholars who propose that the inscription refers to another king, Jeroboam of Israel. Its reference to Parsua is also the first known reference to the Persians. This is very important before the Persians came on the scene. It's the Assyrians now. This is extra biblical evidence that's referring to scriptural events. Well, is this scriptural event in the Bible, since the Bible is not a historical account of anything? Yes, it is, and I'm going to show you that. This is going to be 2 Chronicles. Bless you. 2 Chronicles 32. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. Not 2 Chronicles 32. I'm going to get that later. Hold on. All right. All right. So I got to pull up the scripture for that. I don't have the scripture here because I wanted y'all to read the entire scripture. But yeah, I'm wrapping up. Okay. So to save some time, because I got to wrap it up now, let's go back to the sacking of Lachish, right? And I want to show you this, why this is very important. So we see, if you look at the Shalmaneser III, it talks about Yahu or Yehoram, however you want to designate which king it is, because scholars don't know which one. But this is an authentic account of a biblical story that occurred. And I'm showing this because the Assyrians acknowledge these people, and they did not call them Hebrews, from this particular sect, but at this time in history, there was known as the house of Omri, which was somebody from the lineage of Israel, and they were also known by their names or the king's names who had to pay tribute to these foreign empires. So I showed you for the Moabite stela and the scriptural basis, the black obelisk of Shalmaneser III is also scriptural basis, and the last point I'm going to show you is that from Lachish and the siege on Lachish, which is very, very important. First, I want to show you the Lachish relief. Okay, this is an article by David Ushishkin. It's called "The Destruction of Lachish" by Sennacherib and the dating of the royal Judean storage jars, which is important because it dates all the way back to 701 BCE. This is a historical article that is not Christian in any way, but it's giving you the anthropological and the archaeological evidence to show you in a line Sennacherib with Judea, and the people that was ransacked at the time at 701 BCE. Now, I'm going to show you why that's important. And again, this is a third-party article, right? When we go here, I want to show you here. I got to take this up. Okay. The Lachish relief. The Lachish relief is a set of Assyrian stone panels narrating the story of the Assyrian victory over Judea during the siege of Lachish in 701 BCE, carved between 700 and 681 BCE. As a decoration of the southwest palace of Sennacherib in Nubia, the relief today is exhibited at the British Museum in London. The palace room where the relief was discovered in 1845 was fully recovered with the Lachish relief and was 12 meters wide, all right, and 5.10 meters long. Okay, this is very, very important here. It says here, the single inscription which identifies the location depicted in the relief reads, Sennacherib, the mighty king of the country of Assyria, sitting on the throne of judgment before, or the entrance of the city of Lachish, I give permission for its slaughter. So who are the people that he's given permission to slaughter? The Assyrians that's there in that land of Lachish, which is the second most important city next to Jerusalem. We're going to see what that is. But first, I'm going to show you these images, so you can see this relief a little better. Now notice the people in this relief, right? These are the Assyrians right here. These are the Assyrians. Look at their beards. These were the Hebrews. They had curly, woolly hair, nappy hair, and their beards were nappy as well. They are making themselves distinct. Whoever's drawing this relief is making these people distinct, okay, from the Syrians that are right here. So after the conquest of the giant city of Lachish, King Sennacherib sits on his throne as ruler of Lachish, stands before them, and the citizens bow to him. They became a subjugated state or a vassal state to the Assyrian army. Now, why is this important? Because when Sennacherib sacked the city of Lachish, he killed thousands of Hebrews. You're going to say, well, he killed thousands of Hebrews. He killed thousands of Hebrews. And when we look at this article here, it gives you the grisly Assyrian record of torture and death. And some of this torturing was being done to the Hebrews. And they created a mass grave, a second burial grave. That means they died someplace else. They picked the bodies up and dumped them somewhere else. I'm going somewhere with this, and I'm going to get to my climax so I can go. But take all of this stuff into account. This is by Erica Belitro, Grisly Assyrian Record of Torture and Death. All right? There's a reason why I'm showing you this. And 2 Chronicles, chapter 32, which I actually had to get up. All right, here we go. All right? It says, later, when Sennacherib, king of Assyria, and all his forces were laying siege to Lachish, he sent his officers to Jerusalem with the message for Hezekiah, king of Judah, and for all the people of Judah who were there. This is what Sennacherib, king of Syria, says on what was your basing your confidence that you remain in Jerusalem under siege. The scriptures is validating extra-biblical evidence of the Lachish belief of Sennacherib, letting you know that's the event that took place from two sources, the scriptures and outside the scriptures, talking about the persecution of a particular class of people designated as being from the house of Omri or Israel, or what we know as Judah. Now, this is the reason why I'm showing you this. This is very important because I'm almost at the climax. Remember the Lachish release? I showed you the Moabite sellout and how they were relating or referring to the people who we call Hebrews. I showed you the black obelisk of Shalmaneser III and how they were depicting the Hebrews, and this is all about 800 to 900 BCE. Now I'm showing you at 701 BCE when the siege occurred and they created this mass this mass grave after killing hundreds and thousands of Hebrews, we're going to see who were those Hebrews. Were they black people or were they white people that they were killing? That we have scriptural account in the Bible and extra biblical evidence. And I showed you in a relief, the Hebrews being depicted there had woolly hair, knotty woolly hair, and knotty woolly beards.
Yeah, but don't forget the Arabs had the same kind of hair. Arabs too.
The Arabs had the same kind of hair?
Arabs had woolly hair.
They made a distinction in that relief I showed you of the Assyrians and the Hebrews. Now, would you say the Cometians had woolly hair? Had nappy woolly hair? So what kind of hair did the Cometians have? No, I know, but I'm saying, what kind of hair did the Cometians have? So you don't want to address that. Okay, but did the Cometians? I know, but I'm bringing them up because I'm saying, well, did the Cometians have woolly hair? If we said that they were black people, wouldn't they have woolly hair?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Now I just want to have that for a reason. Okay, good. Now I showed you to see. Now let's see something. We want to see some articles real quick, because I'm gonna show you this real quick, and then I'm done after this. All right, I'm gonna show you two things. And I'm gonna put this up while I look for it so you can see. From about 100, and I got this from a brother of mine online. Shout out to Penahizi. This is the head of a man. It was made in clay from 1,800 BCE. Is that a white man or a black man? Because I showed you some images of the Aegean civilization. That's a black man.
Right.
Look at the time period. The same period that I showed you, the black obelisk of Shalmaneser III, the Moabite Stela, and then later on going to the Lachish siege by the Assyrians. That's a black man. I'm gonna leave that up there because I want to show you something.
Look like Brother Polite a little. Polite, that's you.
Yeah, you crazy. And here's another image, because people say we don't have artifacts. This even dates even earlier. Man in praying attitude. That's an African right there, man. He look black, right? Look at his lips. Look at his nose. That's not no white man. And look at the time period. That is in Israel and Jerusalem. This is from a dig. All right, here we go. Now, I have this article here. And then I'm going to show you this. I have two articles and I'm done. All right, let me read this for y'all right here. Okay, ancient Egyptians, Judeans, autosomal DNA, which is something different than the Y chromosomal DNA and the mitochondrial DNA, because this can be done with anybody, regardless of your Y or mitochondrial DNA. Okay, of skeletons from Tel Lachish mass grave, 701 BCE. So the Assyrians had killed a group of people. They bodied them. They dug a grave, and we want to see, were these black people that they were killing? Were the Hebrews really black people at that point in time in history that gave you the recollection or the account that we saw in the scriptures? Okay. Sana, you still got it, right? You still recording? Okay. So when we read this, it says, we do have a time capsule of data from 701 BCE found at the Judean city of Lachish in the form of a mass grave that was excavated there. The Assyrians invaded Judah in 701 BCE and conquered the city of Lachish. Lachish was a major city during the kingdom of Judah, second only to the Judean capital city of Jerusalem. What was found in excavation there left a snapshot of life in ancient Israel during the time of the Bible. Look at this. A large mass burial found dated to 701 BCE, Assyrian siege and conquest of Lachish when the Assyrians conquered and brutally murdered the civilian population and exiled the ruling class. The excavator, J.L. Starkey, observed that the skeletons were likely secondary burials. All right. I went up too much. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna let you get this last part. Because I showed you the Lachish relief of the people who had knotty hair. They had wide noses, big lips. Okay. They had knotty beards. That was in the Lachish relief. These individuals were distinct from the Assyrians in that same relief. And they were killed. Thousands was killed. They were buried. Second burial means you kill somebody here. Somebody comes up behind after they die, puts it and puts it in the grave. That's second burial. Got it? Yeah, we on that. Okay, we on. All right. Yeah. So it says here, of Lachish, when the Assyrians conquered and brutally murdered the civilian population, exiled the ruling class. This is also in the scriptures. You find this in the Bible. Okay, in the book of 2 Kings. It says the excavator, J.L. Starkey, observed that the skeletons were likely secondary burial. Victims died somewhere else, decomposed, and were reburied here, and piled in a disorderly fashion sometime after their deaths at the hand of the Assyrians during the conquest of the ships. Sarki estimated that 1,500 individuals were buried in the mass grave. It says here, from these skeletons, 695 skulls were sent to London, England for analysis. The bodies were those of men, women, and children. The Judean civilian population of the ships from 701 BCE. What is relevant to our discussion here is that the skull types of these Judeans were found to be most similar to ancient Egyptian populations. In other words, these Judeans would have looked like the Egyptians. African black people that we like to call. These people from the cranial analysis will look just like the Egyptians will look today, because they compare those craniums to the craniums that they have of some of the Nasuts and some of the people that were buried in ancient Kemet. Very important. According to the Bible, the Hebrew tribes descended from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It says lived in Egypt for 400 to 430 years. Okay, the Hebrew ruling class intermarried with the Egyptian ruling class. Joseph and his wife Asenath, daughter of the Egyptian priest on Heliopolis or Anu, and patriarch and matriarch of the half tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh. And a mixed multitude exited out of ancient Kemet, which included Semites, Egyptians, and Cushites. Why is this important? So we can wrap this thing up. You're gonna be like, Divine, I don't know what you're talking about. What about the time during when the Romans invaded? Face to face, a town researcher reconstructs faces of the ancient Israelites. What did Moses really look like? Or Jesus? Artists, philosophers, theologians, and anthropologists have engaged in centuries-long debates about the appearance of the earliest Jewish people. Now, researcher from Tel Aviv University, Professor Eugene Kobelansky, we go back and look at TAU's Sakia Faculty of Medicine, is the first in the world to provide concrete facial reconstructions. And I'm going to show you why this is important. The woman right here, she's from 37 BCE to 324 CE, which is very important, right? When we read right here, it says that an apparent African influence. Remarkably, the woman exhibits, the woman's cranium they had, African characteristics, a soft mix between Mediterranean features and African ones, such as a widened nose and enlarged lips. Wow, Divine, you're showing us skulls. And this wasn't even a Lachish skull. This is separate skulls that were discovered in Jerusalem. Okay, wrap it up. All right, so I didn't even get to show all my evidence, but to sum it up, and you can get it over here. Oh, sit down. Okay, let me disconnect. Okay.
All right, family, that's Brother DivineProspect, killing it, doing what he do. Let me ask you a question, brother. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Would you say knowing is better than believing? Would you say knowing is better than having a belief system?
During the science of epistemology, there's different ways of knowing things. You can have procedural knowledge, propositional knowledge, acquaintance knowledge. There's different types of knowledge, and some can be based on belief, and some can be based on empirical data or empirical evidence. Okay, there we go. So when you say knowing and belief, I would say that you would have to have an admixture of both. Okay, because belief brings you to getting to know what is known. All right, so when you say belief, I think you're referring to like the heavenly realm, angels, a God sitting on the throne. I think that's what you're referring to when you say belief. And then when you say knowing, I'm assuming that you're related to facts or evidence, right? Now, because I mentioned earlier that we have no autographs of the original scripts, we don't know the pristine condition of the text, so we can't analyze it. What we can analyze is the copy of the copy of the copy that came down throughout the times in different regions, different areas that we can deductively analyze and see what the original might have said. Why am I saying this? What I'm saying is because what we've gotten today has discrepancies and anomalies, and this is why the science of textual criticism has been applied to the Bible. Now, when you ask Brother Divine looks at the evidence before coming to a conclusion. Brother Divine is not going to proselytize his belief onto anybody else. So what does that mean? That means that if I look at the evidence, and the evidence that I see is based on the same predispositions that the people had that wrote the text, then I can subscribe to that. But because that's something spiritual in nature, other people may not subscribe to that. They may have a different vibration or resonate much differently when you make certain claims or certain terms. When you look at any ancient culture, they had sciences as well as a belief system. They had a belief system that determined how things were made. There was their cosmogonies. Okay, when we look at it back today, we can see the sciences that they were intending to actually employ or share with the people, but we have to look at it from our current standpoint, where we have all this additional science, anthropological, archaeological evidence, linguistic language, and superimpose it back onto the past to see the things that they had spot on and the things that they felt wrong in. So when you say belief, you always have to have a degree of belief. You have to have some essence with nature, some connection with nature, whether you believe it's from your ancestors who you deified, like in a Kemetic culture, or whether it's you believe that it was a creative power. I believe power, the creative power that put everything in the place that it had today. So man is interpreting the information that is being given to him by a higher power, and he is writing it on scripts to tell a story to the people to get them back into a moral condition that they have fell from, and to also explain certain beliefs, customs, traditions that they didn't have a natural way of explaining. So you have to have a combination of facts and some degree of belief, because us as people, we have an inherent spirit in us that connects to a divine essence. And if we was to say, you know what, forget that divine essence, forget my deified ancestors, forget the ultimate power that created us, and I'm just going to deal with facts, that is not African, that's not indigenous to the Levant region, and that's not what the ancient civilizations have believed. So they had a mixture of both. We got to get our people back to a state of mind before invasion, where everything was made abstract because all the cultures were being stolen of the indigenous people. And the people that were now given the counterfeits did not have direct blood lineage to these indigenous people, so they had to create these abstract philosophies and ideologies. So we got to remove ourselves from that, get back to the indigenous way or the concrete way, and mix those facts that we have looking at the anthropological record of these ancient civilizations, along with the belief in a higher power given by ancestors that created us and has put us here on the planet today to be their representatives in this age and age. I hope that answers your question.
That sounds slick and good. All that sounds slick and good. That sounds slick and good. But we as an African people, they say, we never dealt with belief. I don't deal with belief. I don't believe in nothing on the planet. I don't deal with belief. You either know it or you don't.
Do you have, you have ancestors? Do you believe your ancestors are watching over you?
No, I don't believe my ancestors are watching over me.
Okay. Yeah. So Sinai says he doesn't believe in anything.
Right.
He doesn't believe that he has ancestors that came before him that is watching over him. Right. Do you believe Dr. Good is watching over you right now?
No, I don't believe that.
Okay. So
I don't deal with belief.
Okay. So when people from the Kemetic community pray to their ancestors, who are they praying to? Does that means you have to have a belief in order to pray to an ancestor that you can't prove is existing?
They are praying to the spirit of the ancestors.
Spirit of the ancestors. Now, does that include belief? Because that's not concrete.
No, that don't include belief.
That doesn't include belief?
No, because the spirit is real. You can't kill the spirit. You can't kill energy.
I agree.
All right, then. So
what are they praying
I don't
to?
believe in the energy. I know it's there. I know. You see, there's a difference between belief system and a knowing system.
Okay.
Do you believe in Christ? No, you have faith in him. You believe you believe in him. You don't know for a fact. See, so you're dealing with faith.
Okay.
When it comes to that. So I'm saying, what part of your doctrine deals with the know, not belief? So that means you got to show some primary, some facts.
I've been doing that.
No.
You got to go on my page and look at concrete faith. I'm going to tell you what that means.
Show me right now, what part of your Bible is actually dealing with facts?
I just showed you. Did you not see that? I showed you the history of Shalamanza. I showed you the history of the Assyrians. I showed you the history of the Moabites.
I saw all of that.
Okay.
But guess what? To me, that's dealing with belief. You're dealing with belief.
But how is it belief when it's validated extra biblical evidence about the same account?
You believe that that's what that is.
So when I look at the walls of ancient Kemet, are you saying I gotta believe that stuff too?
Show me some bodies, man. Where the bodies is?
There's no bodies. You can't ask me for that.
Go. See, that's what I'm talking about. You dealing with belief. You believe that they existed. You believe. Hold on.
Okay.
You believe that Paul was real. You believe that Yahweh was real. Where does it get Yahweh in the Bible? Is that in the Bible too?
Yahushua. Yeah, it depends on which vocalizations we use to read the actual script.
So that's in the Bible. They say Yahweh.
Yahweh, yeah, that's using the Lashawan Kodesh. Okay. So you asked me.
Now you get back to me when you said.
No, that was good. So that's why when I go to my West African brothers and sisters that I know West Africa, and they have the Ifa system dealing with the Orisha and Aluwaya, which is the supreme force that permeates everything else. And I asked them, where are these ancestors at, or where your ancestors at, where their graves at? They cannot produce them. So I'm not going to say to those people that you guys are crazy and they're African, West Africa. I'm not going to say to those people, you guys are crazy because you can't show me any bodies of your ancestors and that you're strictly going on belief or faith. I wouldn't say that to them. I wouldn't dare say that to them because they have an oral tradition which they keep through their griots that passes information down. It's only when you have people from the outside come in and want to document the life of these people that they have it in writings and bring it outside of their culture to the Western world. So when people ask me to force one culture to do something that another culture doesn't do, I don't think that that's very fair. So I never said, for the record, that there was a system of mummification in ancient in the Levant region with the Canaanites. I never said that. So I cannot produce you no mummified body. Just like I can't go to any other culture outside of Africa and Nubia and find mummified bodies as well.
So how do you know they exist?
How do I know they
How
exist?
do you know that Paul, David, Luke, Matthew, where you can't find one?
One what?
How many prophets? How many of these big brothers?
There's grave sites.
You can't find one.
I showed you the grave sites.
Now let's keep it real.
Okay, go ahead.
If you show me the grave site,
okay,
and the right man know that you got these great men up under here, you don't think they'll be trying to dig that up?
I never said
to do research on that.
But I told you the culture of the people is that after a year of somebody being buried and they die, they take the bones and put it in an ossuary and the family takes it with them. That's why you're not going to find no bones and no bodies. And that was a culture of the people in the Canaanite religion or other Levant region.
See, there you go again. This is what I mean. You don't have proof then. You don't have no proof. If they took the bones, you can't find the bones. You don't know where they at. You got to be able to show and prove. Like, for example, you go to Egypt. Bones that have been there thousands of years. You can see it right there. You got evidence. You're looking at it. You see it. So when you ask me, do I believe who I pray to when we pray? No, I don't believe in none of that.
Okay,
I know it.
So let me ask you.
No,
what do you know?
I know it.
You know what?
When you say, oh, you praying to the ancestors, the spirit of the ancestors. I know it. Yes. I pray to the spirit of the ancestors.
And what's that spirit?
I don't believe in it.
Name of that spirit. And manifest it right now.
Listen.
I'm just messing with
you.
Listen,
you can't see it. You can't see the air, right? You don't see the air, but it's right there.
I can demonstrate that.
I do it too. I can demonstrate it too. But it's there, right? The spirit is there. I can demonstrate the spirit of Dr. Ben, brother.
Show me.
It's there.
Where's it at?
I'm going to show you April the 19th. Come to the National Black Theater. And you will see the spirit of Dr. Ben.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
You will see the spirit of Dr. Ben in Shaka Utmost, in Brother Polite, in Sarah Sunseti, and Professor James Paul. You're going to see the spirit.
I see what you're saying.
It's always here. You can never kill the energy, and you know that.
I agree.
All right. So when I say believe, I don't believe in none of that shit. You either know it or you don't. So if you ask me a question, I'll be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say, oh, I believe it's true. Oh, I believe it's there. No, that's what the problem with us today is that when you ever heard one of our teachers say, oh, I don't know. They don't never say that. They always try to give you some pseudo-ass answer or make up some shit. Just simply say, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you ask me a question and I don't know it, ain't no shame in my game, my brother. I don't know. Or if I do know, I say, yes, that's what it is. So that's what I mean by belief. You either know it or you don't.
Yeah. And what I would say to that is I'm not going to totally disagree with you because I understand your perspective. You're talking about the energy. So when we're looking at a story, okay, or literature about people who we see codified in the scriptures and we see the feats that these people have done, the things that was told about these people, and we're saying we can buy in the same spirit or energy that they had in those scriptures. The same thing, again, like I said to you, Sana, outside of Kemet and Nubia, when you go to other African cultures and you actually touch down in Africa and talk to these people or know people from there that are here, you have to ask them the same question because they will tell you stories of the distant past of their ancestors who they prayed to. And you have to ask them or show me the bodies or the bones of those people. you're not going to be disingenuous and say that to those people. But out of the stories that they're telling you, they say that we are embodying the energy or the spirit or the essence of the story of the individual or characters in the story, and we're embodying it today, and we're bringing it forth to the people. They will tell you that. People who study Santeria, they will tell you about their ancestors, which is a form of Eva from the Europe or tradition. When you study all of these things, and the Griots who speak about this, they'll tell you about their great ancestors that came before them, but we can't produce them.
But that's totally different from your ancestors.
Why is it different?
Because these are men. Because these are men of the Lord. These are men of God. These are men.
What you mean when you say
brother, these are men of God.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? According to quote unquote what y'all said. See, so when you can't show none of that, it's hard for our people to accept.
Show what? Bodies?
I mean, show some proof that these men actually.
I showed you some evidence of the accounts.
What I'm talking about is Jesus, Michael.
There's extra biblical attestations to him actually being a real person.
All right, let's move forward. Let's move forward.
All right, cool.
You talked about the Bible. Oh no, that was Dr. Ali Muhammad when he said the Bible was an anti-black book. Yeah, that was Ali Muhammad. But you definitely went in talking about the Hebrews is close to African.
Egyptian.
Look Egyptian.
Like yeah, I showed you.
You know, Tazori,
you would go in, right? That's my brother. That's my brother.
Come on, you know, Tazori, I can hear you say that. And Michelle, I hear you say that. Come on, brother.
Let me speak on that. And when we say close to African, we're talking about as far as features is concerned. Because when the Hebrews came into Africa and set up communities, hundreds of years that had transpired. Some of them intermingled with the indigenous people there, some of them didn't. But after time had transpired, for example, when Joseph, his brothers came to see him, they could not recognize him from a regular Egyptian because years have passed. Which goes to show that they looked similar to the people in the land that they were in. And remember, there were also Semites that were always living in ancient Canaan's life. And these people had African features. That's why I said, when you look at the Natufian culture of people that migrated from North Africa into the Levant region, you'll see that these people also had African features as well. So when we say African, you have to make a distinction. There's different tribes on the continent of Africa, right? The Teutonic Plate, which includes the Levant region, which is also attached geologically to the Teutonic Plate that we colloquially call Africa. And we talk about the tribes of people, the Semites that lived amongst the Hamites that were dwelling in Africa. Now, I don't say it in any negative connotation when I deal with Hamites because that's my particular conviction. You know, you may have other brothers who may bank on the Hamites and that's their persuasion. But I don't do that because from when I taught from day one outside of the TV, you go back to my original PowerPoints, you'll see that I'm showing that there was always, the Egyptians were always intermingled with the people that were called the ancient Israelites. And if you read the book of Judges, chapter 1 to chapter 3, the Israelites even intermingled and intermarried with the Canaanites when they came into the land. You know what I'm saying? This was not promoted, but it happened. So you had intermingled with all these cultures because look, Asenath, which is the wife of Joseph, which he married into the priesthood of Aaron, which is very important, they produced Ephraim and Manasseh. They were half Egyptian and half Semitic, half Semitic and half Semitic. So you had these people that were mingled in with the different tribes of ancient Israel. So when they have a particular position in regards to Hamites, that's their conviction, and that's fine. I'm saying with me, based on the evidence that I'm showing of these Africoid features and other craniums that we have to compare to the ancient Hebrews, we have them looking like the ancient Cometians because they were all people with Africoid features, big lips, wide nose, etc.
Okay, brother. Let me ask you this real quick. As far as building the pyramids, you agree that the Hebrews built the pyramids? A quick answer, yes or no?
That's not my particular position.
So you don't believe that y'all built the pyramids?
Belief is different than my particular position. I said that's not my position. Other Hebrews.
What is your position?
My position was that the monuments were there before the Hebrews came into ancient Canaan.
Okay.
Now, some people will say that they were Hebrew or Semitic individuals that were in the land, and they helped to erect the pyramids. That's their particular persuasion, and they will provide you evidence for that. But speaking for DivineProspect, we're talking about DivineProspect now. So when we speak, you got to address me as an individual.
Okay.
You keep lumping me in a group. My particular perspective is I don't subscribe to that, but I'm not saying that it's false. I'm saying from my research, that is not the conclusion that I came So hopefully that answers your question honestly, because again, you're talking to an individual called the Divine Prospect.
I'm talking to an individual right now. When you get amongst your brothers, y'all are one body. You yourself said y'all building a united front.
But we got to discuss certain issues behind closed doors before we make it public.
And
this is one of them.
Do you see the white man as a threat, as an enemy to our people?
I don't know. I think he says because of the residue from In the Black Radio. That was crazy. But when we're talking about the white man, the enemy, I never said that the regular white man walking down the street is the enemy.
The so-called white man.
No, let me finish. No, I know, but listen to what I'm saying, Tyler.
Okay.
The regular white man, who was born to a white person in the street, am I going to say he's my enemy? No, because he ain't doing nothing to affect me and what I'm doing. But the elitists that are running this planet, who happen to be of European persuasion and lineage, those elitists who are promoting white supremacy and superimposing on our people for the destruction of blacks in America, hell yeah, they're the enemy of the black people here in America. Of course they are. Genocide, even gentrification, getting inside of communities that we had of our own is happening even here in Harlem. Okay, poisoning our water with sodium fluoride to keep us docile, creating these GMO food for us. Of course they're the white niggas. The people that are backing all of these organizations are people from pure European lineage, and they are wicked as hell. Now, the average white man walking down the street was not affiliated with this. He ain't my enemy. But the ones that are up there on the top, those are the ones that I be fighting against. And those are the ones I try to awaken my people to be wary of so we can have leverage against them and create a nation so we can have a unified front to fight against our oppressor when the time comes.
The white man that you see walking down here in the streets of Harlem, they have taken stolen goods. And they are now using the stolen goods against you. How can they not be your enemy? I'm quite sure Shah, Daniela, all the other Hebrews like ISUPK, they will tell you all white people are their enemy. You see what I'm saying? Now,
can I answer that real quick?
No, I already know you're gonna say that's them and you.
No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say that when you look at the genes of people with recessive genes have the propensity or the potential to be a particular way. Just like we as African people or black people or Semitic people have the propensity or the potential to be great. Now, will everybody tap into that potential? No, they won't. It depends on the circumstances. But what I would say is those people that you're talking walking down the street, I had to ask you, do they own the land? I had to ask you, or do they own the organizations that are causing the gentrification to take place? Or are they the ones buying into the system? So I want to know who are the owners, because those are the ones that I want to bring before us, and those are the ones that we need to address, because they're the ones that's promoting this agenda and the homicide of our people here in America. Those are the ones that I want to address, the ones behind the scenes, not the ones we see, the ones pulling straight behind the scenes, because those are the ones that we need to bang on.
Can the ones that we see out here, can they join your movement? Can they become a part of your movement? Being that you don't see them as a threat, as an enemy, can these little low-level crackers become, a hero?
So when you say I don't see my enemy, if they buy into white supremacy, then well, they're my enemy. Excuse my French. If they buy into white supremacy where they feel that they're better than us and they more entitled, yeah, they're my enemy. Then all of them don't think that. Some poor ones don't even care about any of that. Right. But will I let them into my organization? No. My organization is for melanated people. Period. So no offense to anybody but that's watching this, but my organization is locked down for melanated people. Now we have no problem setting up shop in white neighborhoods and getting their money and bringing it back to the black community. We have no problem doing that, and that's what we should be doing. Why are we not setting up stores and shops in Arab communities? Why are we not setting up in Jewish communities? Why are we not setting up in white communities? Why are we not creating products and services and goods that to make them one? Because what happens is they use us to promote their products, but we're not using the same power that we have as being consumers to promote our own products in their community. They have all types of ethnicities in our community taking our money, but we're not going to the community and doing the same thing. That's why I said my organization will give services to these people to take their money and bring it back into our community to fix it because we need it the most.
All right, brother.
I'll get it.
Okay. We had a discussion with Ali Muhammad today. Wanted to know, Ali has his. It seems like he has his own particular perspective on Islam.
Yes.
Now, we're very respectful. We go to some of his classes, we not go to some of his classes. How do you feel about his perspective on Islam? Because it seems like, if you ask me, it seems like the other powerhouses in Islam culture aren't actually taking it seriously.
That's a good question. All right. Even though I may have some contentions with Dr. Ali Muhammad in regards to his particular stance with his brand of Islam, right? I would say Dr. Ali Muhammad was a great researcher. Now, I found some discrepancies in his research, but I would say that he has pulled some stuff out that most people never even put together. So I respect Ali Muhammad for his particular brand of Islam, because when you look at DivineProspect, I have a particular brand of my Hebrew Israelite ideology, which is distinct from a lot of Hebrew Israelites. Not all of them, but some of them is very distinct. And the reason why I'm saying is because we have to be the pioneers of this information. We cannot be regurgitating rhetoric. We have to go back and do the primary research on articles, on history, on language, on artifacts, or anthropology. We have to go back and look at these things and be able to determine if the brand of culture that we have today, and spirituality we have today, is it something that's indigenous to the people of the lands who created it, or is it a counterfeit that has been given back to us by invaders? So what Ali Muhammad has done is he has undermined, to a particular way, undermined the particular stance of Islam, going back to the natives who created the religion and the culture to see if what they had then is the same that we have now. And from his research, he's saying, no, that's not the case. What we have now is from the white pale Arabs. And the same thing, when I go back into the recesses of history and I look at the Hebrew Israelite culture, which is Semitic and indigenous, it's a totally different system than what we have today that the white Jews or Reformed Judaism is given to us, that Christianity is given to us. It's not the same thing that the people practiced at that time. So when it comes to the different brands of Islam and Hebrew Israelites, I would like to see more brothers taking a risk, going and researching information and covering documents, artifacts, getting anthropological records to provide for us to see if what we are using today is the same thing that was indigenous to the people at the time who crafted and created this particular culture and spirituality. So I hope that answers your question. And one more, and one more, and I'll wrap up. Let's get kind of late.
Yeah. I wanted to ask both you and Ali Muhammad this particular question. Regards to spirituality, I've been speaking to some brothers, and we spoke about this. I want to share with you. Do you think that the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, any other scripture, even in regards to the pyramids in the Americas and in Africa, around the world, China, everywhere, are these things a result of people being so far removed from the spirit? Like, is that what these things are?
Say that one more time, the last part.
All right. The Bible, the pyramids, the sculptures, all of these things, these writings on the wall,
Quran, all of that.
Quran, everything. Are these things a result of the people on the planet being so far removed from the spirit? Like,
I think you're saying that if the books that we're given today, such as the Quran, such as the Bible, the Tanakh, such as, let's say, the pyramid text, the Corpus text, any papyrus with ancient Kemet, you're saying that is this a result of the people being far removed from the indigenous spiritual systems that indigenous people had, let's say, before 5000 BCE? And what I would say is yes, conditionally. And my conditional yes is that as time progresses, you're going to be further removed from the original story or the original incident and the original system that was established. And as time progresses, because different cultures are interacting, because different climates are occurring, different environments that you're in, different diets that you're eating, all of these things develop over time as people interact with other cultures, as the environment changes around them, as they view the star system, whether they view the celestial stars, whether they view the lunar, moon. You have different people who are encountering different experiences, and then as time progresses, when we get to history, because history is that which is written down. Yes, we have been removed from the original incidents by the time the things got written down. So our objective is to go back into the recesses of time to see if there's a common ancestor to all the things that exist today, and if so, how do we get back to that original pristine condition as being indigenous, melanated, spiritual people that were one in harmony with nature and also one in harmony with the universe, and one in harmony with the God force or the essence or the energy that has crafted and created them, and that is sustaining and holding things together. So I believe that Ali Muhammad's venture, as well as mine, is just trying to go back to the indigenous people to see what it is that they believe and try to find out how that story got conveyed in the text that we subscribe to today. So hopefully that answers your question.
It does answer my question. You just said something key. You said your system and Ali Muhammad's system. Make sure you can think. Yeah, your system and Ali Muhammad's system is a way to get back to the indigenous way of life.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to speak on your system, and also, is it necessary to even use the Bible or in the Quran or the pyramids? Is it necessary, or are we going about this in the wrong way? Should we be doing something a totally different way to tap into that spirit? Do you want that spirit?
Yeah. So if I get your question right, you're saying that the system that I use or I establish, the system that Ali Muhammad established, getting us back to the indigenous way of life. I think your question is that.
One, you could talk on your system.
My system, okay.
And then two, is the Bible, the Torah
necessary for that system?
Yeah, is it embedded in your system and is it necessary, or is there another way? Or are we just doing things the wrong way? Because I said because it's been years and years and years that the Bible, the Quran, all of these things have been being used, but the conditions seem to be getting worse or stagnant or an illusion of progression, but not so much.
Yeah, and I would say that first, my system, if you're talking about indigenous wave system, my organization itself teaches
What's the name of it?
Oh, the name of my organization is Kingdom Harmony Ministries. You can type that in on YouTube. Find me on Instagram at Kingdom Moments. Also find me on Facebook under DivineProspect. And that way you can get some information until I put my website back up on what it is that we actually embody. Now, what I teach in regards to the scriptures is I'm teaching a moral system, okay? That we have extracted the values of the precepts from the text that we can employ today and composite with all the other information that we have that's up to date, so that way we can renovate the condition of our people in America. And the reason why I say it's because I deal with most of the pre-exilic state of Israel, or the people before their exile in the Babylonian and Assyrian captivities. When you study that particular indigenous way of life, it's somewhat different than when they were taken into captivity. There's a lot of compromise that had taken place. So going back into the recesses of time and looking at going back to the recesses of time and looking at these indigenous systems before they got into captivity, before they were invaded by Caucasians, who we call Caucasians or Europeans. We have to go back to that indigenous system to see what the text is referring to, a culture of people. Now, you're asking, is the Bible necessary? It depends on what your subscription is, because some people will say it is, some people will say it's not. According to my organization, we use the Bible as one of the core factors of getting people back on the moral compass. But different cultures had different means of salvation, different means of how they view the universe. So you'd have to actually look at a particular tribe of people at a particular point in time and say, okay, can we extract that indigenous system and employ it today? And if it did not work in the past, what were the mistakes? And this is what we're examining now when we go back to look at Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we're looking at Black Wall Street and how the labor unions were destroying the Black communities after Reconstruction, and looking to see the things that we did not employ, that we might have been using religion for, and that didn't have the substance to actually give us the tools necessary to build a good nation. So when you ask that question, is it necessary? It depends on what your persuasion is. But what I would say to answer that question is, doing my research, I see the reason why I keep the scriptures is because it has one of the most profound precept systems to employ us back to the indigenous way of life, so we can get back one in harmony with nature, with the greater power that has created us. And with this particular system, now we can employ services to the community, such as debt cancellation services that we offer, naturopathic health remedies that we offer, business startup programs that we offer, agriculture and carpentry that we offer. And the reason why we offer these services is because we can find these precepts in the text. And we look at a lot of major civilizations, they have the same thing. It's just based on what your persuasion is. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't proselytize our core belief system, which is the Hebrew Israel ideology, on anybody. I don't force them to say, oh, you need to be a Hebrew. I don't do that. I try to show them through the services and indigenous way of life to understand why my perspective in regards to the scriptures is very unique, and how I'm extracting the precepts that work and those that don't, that was then for that time, how we're leaving that out. The problem is a lot of people take the whole of the text and say everything could be used today, when there were a different audience then, different speaker then, different political issues then, different agricultural issues then. So everything cannot be fully employed today. You have to be able to transmute that information into a practical system that is codified along with the other information that we had of the ancestors that live here in Americas and have brought solutions forward and make a composite system to present back to the people to get us out of the condition that we are today, so we can get back to our pristine state of spirituality and being one and harmonious with the nature and respecting each other socially, having a political voice in our communities, and having an economy that is not fully dependent on our oppressor. And with that, I'm going to sign off. Oh.
All right, brother. This is definitely a powerful, positive brother right here, Brother Divine Prospect. Sometime I got to see how he takes the question.
The pressure, right? Find out to do that,
so
yeah.
It ain't personal.
No, you know I know.
Brother,
you know I know.
I respect and love you, man. And I'm going to say to the Hebrews that's out there, y'all got to pick this young brother's mind. This brother have the information. Make sure y'all get in touch with this brother. He's definitely out there doing the work. Brother Ready for All. Thanks for coming through. Go and subscribe to Brother Ready for All. Because you know how the older G's do, we pass it down to the young brothers.
There you go.
They getting it in. So that's why I let my brother, this
brother
shout
out to Dr. Ben.
Brother Ready for All works side by side with me with Dr. Ben getting all the.
And who else was there with Sean? You stay leaving Divine out, yo.
Prospect was also in the building. Now, I want to say this. Have you ever considered, my brother, running for public office? Because you definitely answer questions like a politician. No, only in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
You know how to deal with the questions.
Exactly. When you say run for office, if I'm going to run for any office, it has to be an office that the people who are indigenous to that office is supporting. So if it's a system, when you say office like Republicans, Democrats, the Tea Party, I'm not running for none of those offices. They don't represent the plight of indigenous people here in America. So we would have to create a nation, and if we did create a nation, heck yeah, I will run for office in that nation. You know what I'm saying?
They don't represent us here in America because we don't have our people here.
And that's what I'm saying.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. When you look at brothers like Charles Barron in Brooklyn and see how he represented Brooklyn, I went out there, I visited his home, I even went up in there and interviewed him. We gotta go check that.
Wow, that's what's up.
A long time ago. He took us around, he showed us the school. So he need help. You got my brother named Divine Allah, who used to be a Black Panther Party, Black Panther Party, who is now in Trenton, New Jersey, who also ran out there. We need to begin to put our people in position.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying running for office.
I hear you. Can I respond back to that and give it to R?
If we're not going to be in it, then why are we fighting? What are we fighting for? Are we going to keep begging to the white man to do
That's a good question.
To do that? No, we need to put our people up in there, brother.
And I want to say this. And if we do get into office, or if I did run for office, the purpose of me running for office is to bring this conscious information to the masses of Black people who don't have it. So then we can take over the cities, take over the towns, and we can create a system that's indigenous to all of us. But first, we may need the publicity to do so. You know what I'm saying? I got invited to do interviews on TV. I declined it, right? I got invited to do articles in newspapers. I declined it. You know why? Because we are not in a state where we have enough leverage and power to take things by storm. If I come out with this information and I don't have a lot of brothers that's running for these offices aside of me, they're going to try to take Divine out. And that's going to send a message to everybody else like, yo, don't ever get as popular as Divine, because when you do, our objective is to take you out. This is not saying that we are scared to die, because I'm willing to die for my cause. The point I'm trying to make is that I'm going to need a conscientious effort. This is why Divine bands behind RBG, because at the end of the day, my Hebrew Israelite ideology is mine for myself. But when I band together with other Black people, we have to put those things at the door and look at issues, like you said, a political voice in our community, and come together to build and say, okay, the common denominator between all of us is food, clothing, shelter, clothing, and the next generation. How can we preserve this in its current state of affairs? And how can we initiate plans that's going to take us back from slave-minded, which we are now, back to an indigenous state of mind where we were powerful, we were kings and gods and queens and all this other stuff. So we have to get into the unconscious community, make them conscious, and bring those masses into our community so we can start creating offices for ourselves.
Peace. When you're dealing with politics, it's more so about finances. You can't just think that because I'm Black, you Black, we're just gonna, it's gonna work.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? In regards to President Barack Obama, you know, he's the president of a corporation. When he goes on campaign, he's fundraising.
See, I didn't want to touch that because Sanada was talking about something different. But go ahead.
Right. But in regard, even if it's you're gonna have to campaign and fundraise. You have to have certain finances to back you. You just can't go out there and run.
Just off the spirit of running.
You got to feed yourself.
Exactly.
You got to pay money for some water or something when you're running, right? You're jogging.
Yeah, that's when the people come in.
Right, exactly. So,
and that's why you need to support these independent venues that we're creating or platforms, because now we can get those who are out there in these offices to come into our community to see the information that we bring in, so they can just represent us as well as being the conscious thought. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Right. In regards to community, so I want to say, I got to quote this Gregory. I don't think there is an actual black community or even a conscious community.
As per se, exactly.
Yeah, if you ask me, I don't subscribe to that. There's folks that have like certain things, whether you're Hebrew or Kemite, and it seems like they're trying to get to a place where they can actually have community, and I commend that. That's why I came into the community, and I feature the Hebrews, the Kemites, or Dr. Ali and his situation, because I like what they're doing. They're actually really trying. It's a work in progress, you know. So that's my person. That's my person.
All right, we're signing off.
All right, we signing
it's
off.
Almost 8 o'clock.
We signing off. We're closing out. Well, to answer your question, ready for all you know, what's the question? It was a statement. Yes, there is a conscious community.
We'll talk about it.
There is a conscious. Yeah. That's like we said, it ain't no Hebrew community.
But ain't no
so-called Hebrew community. No,
so-called
there is a conscious community.
Okay.
When you look at brothers like Professor James Storms and Booker T,
Leonard
and
Jeffries,
Dr. Ali Muhammad,
you know
Brother Polite,
Leonard
and
Jeffries,
Brother Sarnett, and Sarah Susan,
Leonard Jeffries,
and Dr. Leonard Jeffries, even Divine Prospect,
schools of thought,
even Divine Prospect. There's a conscious community. So when y'all get this stuff about, oh man, ain't no so-called conscious community, what you mean so-called?
Well, I mean,
it is a
let me break it down. Look,
you niggas are just looking for a goddamn miracle. Like there's no fighting in the conscious community.
No,
Hebrews fight amongst Hebrews.
There's a fight.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hebrews fight against Hebrews. Hebrews argue against Hebrews. You might not see it like that. Muslims fight against Muslims. Is there a Muslim community? Yes.
There's
Muslims fight against Muslims.
They have structures and things like that.
Everybody fight amongst themselves.
I love the
so when it comes
family.
to there ain't no conscious community. Come on, man. Y'all niggas stop buck dancing, not you, brother. I'm talking about the Negroes.
So direct. I like direct.
Stop buck dancing. Because if it wasn't, where do you think you come from?
I think we have to define community, because when you're talking about community, I think he says like houses and stores and stuff like that.
That's a commune.
There's a Muslim community, there's a Hebrew community. We don't, and that's another thing, bro. We don't say so-called Hebrew Israelites. We're gonna start saying it though, because y'all be dissing us. Oh, the so-called conscious community.
I don't be doing that.
We're gonna start saying the so-called Hebrew Israelites. So-called. We don't do that.
I don't do that either.
Now. I think
but y'all do that all the time.
They do. I never said that. Okay.
But we gonna stop, because that's how y'all be on some disrespectful shit. So we gonna.
But you gotta be a man of integrity.
Hebrews.
You cannot. You can't add fire with fire. You gotta use water to put out fire, son.
I know.
So that means your integrity has to be intact.
What's my sign?
Your sign? I don't know. What is
your Aries, right? I'm a fire sign, man.
That's why you starting fire, man. But what I'm saying is that we have to be able to have a degree of integrity and our character. If somebody defames me, a good judgment of character is how I respond to it. Do I react or do I act? A reaction would be for me to try to put out fire with fire. Action would be for me to consciously avoid it or try to soothe whatever that concern is. So we have to have our integrity in check when dealing with people, and we should not let people give us overly emotional. That's why you'll see me, I'll get passionate when I talk. When I interface with brothers, you never hear me disrespect anybody. You understand? Because to me, that's a negative vibration that I don't want to put out in the atmosphere, because I don't want it coming back to me. So I try to respect everybody as well as I can, as much as I can. And I do so with a degree of integrity, because I understand that the best display of your character is how you hold yourself in situations where other people will get uptight, will get angry, will get mad, and to be able to be very disciplined. Now, I'm going to touch on this on the end off. When he says communities, I understand what Sanada means and what he means. Right. Sanada said community is communing of people coming together, whether it's a platform where there's services and goods that's being offered and sold, that's the storefront. Where there's a platform where people are speaking, you know, that is a particular community. But what R is saying is that structural wise, do we have a community like the Muslims have? Do we have a community like the Jews have? Do we have a community like some white communities have, where they have in their own communities buildings, they have stores, they have all these concrete means to exhibit and tell people, look, this is our community for real. So it depends on how you define that term, and I think both of them are right. It depends on the definition of the term community. And I'm gonna let you end off so we can get out of here.
I mean, I think you said it all right there, brother. What I was talking about, and respect to what's going on, man, because I love what you guys, I love what we're doing, and I want to say this: we're in a time where we can actually support each other. We don't have to complain about what somebody else is doing. Like, I have a channel, it's Ready for All on YouTube. That's number 4, and my brother right here has Kingdom Harbinger Ministries. You have Sanada TV. If you're not watching Ready for All, watch Kingdom Harbor Ministries. If you're not watching Kingdom Harbor Ministries, watch Sanada TV. Get the education, get the information, and build. And you know what? In regards to running for campaigning or anything like that, people need to donate. Donate to what I got going on. Donate to what's got going on. Donate, right. Yeah, because that's the campaigning right there. You know what I mean? That's the real campaign. And we don't have to go run for office and all that stuff, because once you do that, really and truly, you compromise what you're about. Because
we gotta run. We gotta run, man.
Well, we can't. We
want power. You want power? You can't call no shots. Don't you know when you're in the offices, you make up laws? You become the lawmaker.
Right.
I'm talking about in these. I'm not talking about being a big president.
Right.
I'm talking about right here in your community. You begin to make goddamn laws.
But check this though. So
what's the crack down on the police and shit like that?
But you know what?
See, for example, look at Bill Perkins and them. Them niggas is not us. They not our people.
Right.
But I'm talking about, we have brothers like you and brothers like Sue Tech.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? In these positions,
right.
Then we can begin to start making rules and laws that fit our people. Because see, look, if we keep saying we don't need to be involved in it, guess what's going to happen? Right. We ain't going to be involved. You're going to have these the Hispanics coming up and controlling and ruling, because they already starting to outnumber our people already.
The Hispanics is not the issues, though, man.
No, brother.
I know you use it as a vague term.
Let me try to explain something to you.
Use it as
we keep thinking that it's not just the white man.
Right.
All right. It's the whole human family that we're gonna be fighting up against sooner or later, brother. We fighting them now. The whole human family.
But let me ask you this, though. And the brother's not here to actually defend us or whatever, right? But speaking on the systems that we're talking about in regards to Kingdom Harbinger Ministries, and also the government that Ali Muhammad is the president of, ARNA, Aboriginal Republic of North America. What do you think about, and even Brother Polite has New Covenant. How does those organizations or governments, you can speak on what yours actually is, how do people interface with that and interface with the general public's form of organization? Because from my understanding, in ARNA, they have their own government system. So why should somebody like Ali, who's an intellectual, be worried about running for New York mayor if he's already the president of ARNA?
Totally different.
Shouldn't we?
Now you're talking about putting yourself in a position of power.
But this is what I'm talking about.
Totally different.
Shouldn't we all
want for the man?
Oh, so Ali has no power.
Ali got all the fucking police those are his puppets.
Right.
He tells them what to do. He gives them their record. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Who do you think they work for? They work for the man. They work for you. You become the man right there.
What I'm saying is that if am I still on?
Yeah.
All right, so check it. How do you feel like?
When I say run,
right. You're talking about running for political office.
I'm not talking about people vote for these damn bastards.
Right.
I'm not saying
vote for somebody like you.
I'm saying vote for somebody that we shape and mold and put in that position that we know that's going to do something for our people.
But I understand what you're saying. The general public should want to vote for somebody who has a like-minded situation, right? Right. But what I'm saying is that from my investigating ARNA, talking to Brother Divine right here, they have their own system that is counter the general public, counter the mainstream politics. So I'm saying if Ali is saying this, all indigenous folks should want to be a part of his government, and that's self-reparations. Why not join that? Why not encourage more so that than encouraging the system that obviously hasn't been working? Every time we vote for somebody,
we have a bigger platform now, a huge platform now. You see what I'm saying? And you're talking about,
but that huge platform is being compromised by other people, like you said.
That's if you let it be compromised.
But it has to be compromised.
Charles Barron, is he being compromised? when he go out, when you see him speak, you know who Charles Barron is.
Keeping it real.
You out there in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So you should know. When you see Charles Barron speaking, do it sound like a man that's being compromised? He's telling you.
He's giving it.
You got Marty, you got what's his name? Marty Markowitz. He goes to the BAM and talk real nice and everybody claps.
Can you imagine if we had a brother like Attorney Alton Maddox?
And what position?
As the mayor of New York City. The mayor.
He'd have to still,
mayor.
he still had to compromise his situation because, like you said, we're outnumbered. That's one. Right? We're outnumbered. So how?
He's saying he represents not just black people, but everybody that's in the
right.
city.
And what happens is this.
Right. I know what you're saying.
Right.
You're gonna show more favor towards your people.
Yeah.
Just like everybody
But
doing it in the office.
But check this though. Think about Obama. Think about Obama. Everybody voted for him because he's black, but he still has one. People that's black don't have the finances to actually make him move. He took advantage because he's black. Yeah, I'm black, but if there's no finances backing him, nothing's gonna change.
No, I know that. You're right.
So same thing for the mayor.
Let's say you see Divine running. Would you run? Would you go out and vote
whatever
for Divine?
Divine is doing, he's a man of integrity.
Would you vote for Divine?
I'll vote for Divine. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but his is still recording.
Mine's done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I vote for Divine. I support Divine big time. You know what I mean? Whatever business he got going on, I put him on if he needs something. I try to help him the way I can, and he helps me.
Yeah.
So that's not even a question. But in regards to putting yourself in a position where the mainstream does not.
So you saying your take is we don't need to get into their position.
No.
We don't need to get into
we need to, but this step. What happens? You gotta understand that being black is not enough. You have to have finance. There has to be a.
Yes, we know that.
Right.
But
But Divine can't win. That's what I'm saying. So he can't.
Nah, that's not true.
He
Don't
can't.
say that.
Listen, if he's a part of the conscious community, the conscious community cannot elect DivineProspect.
See, that's where you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
It's not. He's not appealing to the conscious community.
Well, when
you get into them office, you're appealing to to the city.
Yeah, to the city. So what is he supposed to talk about when he talks to the man?
You do everything every other politician get in there and do. Talk that talk. And when you get into that damn seat, now it's time for you to walk your walk.
They don't do that. They
tell you all the good shit they gonna do for us. And when they get in there, what do? They
No.
forget all about us, right? So what I'm saying is,
they don't know.
No, they do that.
I don't believe that.
Charlie Rango do that.
What I'm saying is,
show me where you see Charlie Rango doing anything for black people here in America. For us, nothing.
Because they're not paying him. That's what I'm saying. He's the leader of a corporation. They're not paying him. So he's gonna talk that talk, and then when he get in, you're gonna have, like you brought up, Latinos or Hispanics. If they paid him for something, he got to do what they paid him for. That's how it works. If we don't have our finances right, ain't nothing gonna happen. That's why I would say if my brother had Kingdom Harbinger Ministries and he's a Hebrew, I would say Hebrews join his organization and support this brother. And if you have a contention, if you're GOCC or if you're part of the AOCC, keep that, but support this brother's Kingdom Harbinger Ministry. If you're a persuasion of, if you like Ali, join Aboriginal Republic of North America and support that brother. But going into the mainstream politics where you have to compromise or think you're going to make something happen when you're not being paid by those that are like-minded like you, it's not going to work. We've seen that story already. And also, we can't forget, bang on the internal parasites and external parasites, change your lifestyle by being a fruitarian or a vegetarian and make that upgrade, man. Because that's what it's about. That's if you're eating flesh and all that. This is me. So eating flesh and all that, your integrity is going to be compromised in forms of disease, and we know that's true. We ain't got to argue about that. Ain't no debate. So change your lifestyle and maybe.
So how do we fight police brutality?
Well,
every time one of our brothers gets shot, what we do?
Listen.
Make signs.
What are these
go out there,
listen.
hold our hands up.
No, I ain't with that. I'm not with that.
Right.
I'm not with that.
If we have people in positions of power, we can do something real quick.
The position. What happens is
do
this:
something real quick.
The psyche of the people ain't right because they ain't eating right, man. The chemical reaction is happening. You can't spawn a powerful mind. That's why Ali made it. He emphasized the health.
You know why I disagree with you? Because when you say that, you are telling me that white people is all eating white. All white people are eating right.
No, they're not eating
all
right.
right then. So look, come on, bro.
What I'm saying is this. No, listen. We're in a society that's
yes, we are not eating right. I agree.
Neither are white folks.
There you go.
I know that. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So look, we eating horrible just like they eating horrible, and people say black. What I'm saying is this: black folk, they say we don't work together. I think we are working together. We're all working in concert to dehydrate the world and ourselves and bring this whole thing down. Oh, I don't need to make no more?
Oh, it's not
okay, not on.
So what I would say is, since R is getting it and you're still live streaming,
Yes.
You had asked a very important question. I wanted to put this on record before I go. But you said, how can we combat police brutality? So that is saying that if
First
we get,
of all, I want to say something, Paul. From my understanding, and you're a man with words. You got the words. We shouldn't even be saying police brutality. That's the first. That's the surface wrong situation. We should be saying police terrorism. Am I incorrect or am I right?
That's
I agree with you.
agree.
Right. So
yeah,
you can't win with no police brutality. That's one. So
yeah, I was gonna say we have to start enacting plans on how to combat it before we can get to a position of power. We can overthrow the system that is compromising our integrity as a unified front as people. One thing is it still recording? Yeah. One thing we could do, and this is something that we are having meetings on, and the meetings are like, okay, if we have police brutality, what's one way to combat it? One thing that I teach is nationalization, which is very important, and also we are trying to craft up an application for your iPhone or for your Android phone. Well, what do we mean by this? What this application will do is that anytime there's an incident of police brutality, once you hit that button on that app, it will automatically start recording video and it will automatically start recording audio. And what it'll do is it'll send a notification to everybody in that community that has that app so we can come out and respond to these incidences when they take place. Because we have to have a response team that responds to every one of these incidents that happen, because once they see a cohesive, collaborative effort and a collective effort by all the indigenous Black people and all of our communities responding to this police brutality to the point we're having a political voice on TV and we are organized, then they will start taking us seriously and then they will think twice before killing us down. Another thing is that you'll see that the people that's being killed are not individuals that's affiliated with Muslims, not individuals that's affiliated with Jews, people that's not affiliated with a cohesive collective system or government of people. Okay, they are not killing people who are affiliated with these individuals. For example, Amadou Diallo was supposed to be Muslim, right? But he was not in his Muslim garb when he got shot. If he was in his Muslim garb, they would think twice before they pulled the trigger and killed that man. Why am I saying this? Because we are not recognized nationally as a collective whole or cohesive group of people that's going to respond financially, economically, politically, even militarily if we have to, when you kill somebody that's been nationalized under a collective whole in our community. We can first start by creating these systems so we can get everybody on the same page. The hotline was one that I mentioned before, but the app, we escalated to the app. So that way, anytime something happens, everybody has a cell phone. You hit that app, it'll start recording video and audio and send a notification to everybody in that community so that everybody can respond anytime you see anything funny. The lawyers will come out, the doctors will come out, the politicians will come out, and we will all come and assess the situation with expert witnesses. So that's why when it comes to court, there will be no shadow of a doubt as to what happened, and we will show a collective, cohesive, coherent effort in combating police brutality. So if y'all with it, y'all need to send me some inbox to kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. I can sign you on with this project, and we can get it out there ASAP so that way we can have a front against police terrorism. And with that, I'm done.
Yeah, that's powerful. I support that 100%
Thanks.
right there. All right, with that, family, we say peace and black power. We out.
Shalom.
Next time we see you, and your ass in the building.
Peace.
April 19th, we in the building.
19th. What up? All right, that was good. Sally, you put the stuff on that hard drive?
No, because
next
Reggie want me to really go through it. She said, don't just give them all that. Make sure you have a line off it. Don't give them that. Reggie was in the building.
Yeah, I saw.
Let me ask you a question, Sana. Did you take the footage off that memory card I gave you?
Yes.
You did? Is it on your computer?
No, I brought it to you. I just forgot to give it to you. I have it in here. Yeah, the next day, you didn't come.
What you mean?
You didn't show up.
To the film.
Yeah, I have it here. I'm glad you
I just want to make sure that
You know what I need.
And you know what? This right here is not clear though.
What's not clear? What you mean?
It's not clear. You know, like our shit.
Oh, you know why?
Get out of here. That's your tissue, right, Devon?
It's his camera. Yeah,
It's his camera.
You know why? That's what I'm saying. Because the camera is not fine-tuned. Yeah. So I didn't fine-tune the camera for the white balance, etc. So when it
Get out of here, buddy.
doesn't deal too well in a genuine location. You know, I don't have like you have the lighting here. So a noisy spot is uneven lighting, so sometimes it's difficult to shoot the footage. You know what I'm saying?
Mike called me and said, yeah, he said Zion is not ready. He's not, because you can't go into a debate mad and mean all the time, bro. You gotta expect people to come at you sometimes.
Yeah, especially
not come at you.
We're not like, man, we got spirit, so it's gonna show. We got passion.
Yeah, man, you don't expect us to come up. Oh no, what I'm saying, brother, is that we don't do that. We don't talk like that.
But at the joint, he said that he talked the way he want to talk, right? So he shouldn't care about this.
So when you put that footage out,
That was coming out. It's gonna come out tomorrow. I'm scared tonight.
Which one is that?
He did a lecture at the.
oh, so I don't know. I think he's seen it on my channel, right?
Yeah, but you said you ain't got it.
I got it. I'm just seeing if I gave you the wrong thing.
I recorded it too, so he's gonna use some of my footage as well.
Yeah, because Miles got messed
Oh,
up.
the one that you did.
Yeah, but I did it. I mean, I did it, but my sound was off.
Yeah. Oh, yo, one thing. What kind of drive is this, bro? That's not a Mac.
That is not a Mac. No, that's like a regular. It didn't work.
That's what it is. You got a Mac computer, right?
I got a Mac, but that worked with the Mac.
Dude, you gotta get a Mac, man.
Or like a Mac hard drive.
Yeah, you gotta get something that's compatible with that.
I'm a cop a Mac.
Because I'm gonna show you something.
I'm a cop a Mac.
When I tried to dump everything you had in here onto your joint, it says can't dump it because it's too capacitated. Like it was too much.
Hold on, maybe it's filled.
Nah, it ain't nothing on there.
Divine probably can help with that because he knows all the.
So I let him know I did with the technical.
The nuance.
Yeah, but once it say it's too, the capacity of it is too full.
I mean, maybe I got too much stuff on it.
Exactly. That's
no,
what it
there's
is.
nothing on there, bro.
There's nothing on my hard drive.
There's nothing on this hard
So
drive.
you have a
Yes,
Mac.
it is.
You have a Mac on.
I got that right there.
Oh, you got an iMac.
Yeah, iMac.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I got Mac Pro.
You know what? Some of those files are probably not showing side.
Yeah,
Show me.
yo,
Here you go right here. Look.
Let
Here
the
you
mind
go.
handle it.
Here you go right here.
Open it up.
Open it up.
Let the Divine handle it. He's the man behind it.
See, here we go right here. You got Divine in there. I did see Divine.
You
see this? What science is that? Another
you ain't have to go to all that other stuff.
Oh, you know what? I think those are backups of his Mac. Time machine.
Yeah.
Those are backups of time machine. That's why you're probably not gonna see them.
Oh, okay. See that?
Well, you have to make a new folder.
Divine. That's you.
What
Scientist.
Oh, that's me. That's me.
I don't know who that is.
Oh no, that's Sadiq winner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's that footage.
She's good right here.
She's a PhD.
No, I'm saying she's dropping it.
Oh, you know, one more time.
I said that she dropping it, brother.
Dropping what?
The information. Man. What you think I'm talking about, man? See where his mind at, man.
Yeah.
I got a clarification. I'm new to this.
You just saying that the generational gaps on there. That's
what else you got on
there?
there?
She ain't dropping shit. That's it.
What is she talking about?
They talking about men, man.
So why'd you record it?
Oh no. Well, that's for our website.
What else you got on here though? That was it, right?
I don't know what I got on there. I don't even use that.
That's what I'm saying. You just got this right here, Divine and that.
So what do I need from you? I don't know what I need from you. I don't know what I need from you. What would I need from you? You know what I need from you, though?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
If you want that whole lecture, because I came in late, I could take the information like this from today, and I could piece it together with what I record. Yeah, you can do that if you got time. Now you don't got no time, right?
No, you can get it from me tomorrow, though.
If you want to take my hard drive and put whatever, you can do that, and we'll link tomorrow.
I'll give it to you tomorrow because I leave Wednesday.
All right, cool. We're gonna link. You know, we can go to the Whole Foods on 96 and shit like that.
Yeah, you love that.
Where at? In Amsterdam? Did you go to?
On Columbus. 96.
Oh, yeah, I know that's at Columbus.
Yeah. You've been there before, right?
That one time?
I
never been
Is
to
it
that.
better than one on 14th Street?
Hell yeah.
See?
It's nice.
Yeah,
now you know they're making one on 125th.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard.
Exactly.
That's what I heard. Let's see them really do it.